Welcome back to Voyages of the Defiance. Captain Svensson, at least since you're still the captain for now, what happened last time?
Yay! That was the session after the whole crew got hung, right?
Yes.
Well, okay, yeah, so we went...
Session.
Yeah, we went to Chalcedon to get more crew members, and that did not end up working out very well, if I remember correctly. And then we had to find a way to get through the blockade. And the way we ended up deciding is we went and talked to a lord, and we're going to sink a ship on the way over. And in exchange for doing that, he gave us the merchant's pass. And now... And then, yeah, Rudel went and tried to rob a magical shop, and the guy teleported away, and he suicide bombered himself.
Well, we don't know if the guy actually survived or not.
Splattered. Well, I mean, we don't as characters, but like we do as people.
Okay, well
We don't
then.
even know what the fuck happened. We don't know even know.
That's
who the fuck
that's
we know
not what
nothing.
happened.
We just know Rudel's fucking dead. It's great. We're here now.
Do we even know that? He's in hell.
Well,
And,
you
yeah.
left the city and there was an explosion, so I think you do know that he's dead. Or also, Snort said that,
Didn't we leave like the night before?
maybe. I know that you gave him a final chance to rejoin the ship and then you left.
Yes,
Yeah, I don't
but
think
that was like the night before. So we
Probably.
didn't want to stick around in town for the consequences.
Yeah, and so specifically, exactly where we left off was you guys left the city, and you had just finished making it through the passageway.
blockade?
Yeah, the blockade. So
Let's go.
we find ourselves on the western edge of that blockade, basically in the western part of the Strait of Giles. And
Let's see what I wrote
now,
down.
well, what day is it? It's the 21st of October. You were told to expect the Sparrow, the vessel in question, on, let me find it, 2 days from now. So, as we sit at the western edge of Giles and look out towards the Midland Sea, what are we doing?
Me. We gotta wait for Bro to show up.
Okay. Well, the weather in the Midland Sea is unenviable. Lots of fog. While it isn't quite the full winter stormy season, it's very, very hard to see. And about a day into your rest, just because this is such a busy corridor, several ships pass you by in the distance, and you notice that you see their flags, which towers above the fog, long before you see the actual ships themselves.
Oh, good. Okay, we'll be able to see it still.
Yeah. But one, this is a busy corridor of traffic, so a lot of people pass you by, none of whom approach the Defiance, just lingering off to the edge of the strait. And the weather here is looking rough. It seems as if it's going to be not quite the pleasant journey across the inland ocean that you were hoping for.
We probably waited a bit too long.
While we're waiting, we should have people train on the cannons too.
Fair enough. Alrighty. Yeah, I think then that would be the day that you figure out that your cannons are no longer enchanted.
Yes, yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good assumption.
Yeah. So you burn through half of your stone cannonballs and a couple kegs of gunpowder practicing. What you find out is that if your ship is standing still, you can basically fire without most of the penalties, because it's not that hard to fire it when your ship's stationary. But if you're going to be moving around in combat, or there's like rough seas, choppy waters, or anything like that, that's going to suck real bad.
Cool, yeah, shouldn't be an issue. The Bro said that they were just going to surrender, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well then, it's only 2 days, so rather we don't really need to talk about any long rest stuff. Does anyone take a short rest if you need it? I don't know why you would, but if you do. And on the 23rd of October, you start to look out for flags. Georg is up in the crow's nest. Other members of the crew, basically everyone is just peering, not at the fog itself, because you'll only be able to see a couple dozen feet in the fog, but above the fog, looking for flags approaching. And at around 7:30 in the morning, you see your first flag. It is a flag of the Kingdom of Cavaranth, a black goat on a green field.
I have written down here that, let's see here, it says flying a Lord's League flag, which is not that, right?
Correct.
Now, I would have wrote that. I'm getting a vague memory that the guy might have said if they might be flying a Lord's League flag.
Oh.
You write that down?
It just says flying a Lord's League flag. So if that's what I wrote down, that's what they're doing.
We also expected them to be within 2 days, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Within 2 days, or like at around 2 days is the real question.
My thing says 2 days from
Yeah,
now.
it was around 2
yeah,
days.
so I would not suspect this is it then.
Well, it has been
Okay.
2 days since
Well,
you received
as-
that
it had-
mission.
Oh, it has- 2 days.
Oh, okay. I thought it was only 1 day. My
No,
bad.
it's been 2
How
days.
long would it take to be able to like read the text on their ship if they have
The
it?
text, you'd have to go leave your current position because you guys are off to the side of the strait. You're not directly in the path. You'd have to go like lift your sails and approach the vessel.
Can we tell what kind of vessel it is?
Nope, literally you're just seeing a little flag poke up above the fog.
I mean, that's what I wrote down.
All right, I'm gonna trust because I don't personally remember anything about I don't remember anything about it being a potential like.
Alex, can we see a bit of the sail poking up?
No. You can see that it has a crow's nest with a person in it.
Well, that doesn't help very much.
Yeah.
Just sink it to be safe.
Supremely based.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
No, we're not going to do
Okay.
that. But it is based.
All right. Well, then
Yeah, we'll
that
do
ship
this.
passes you by, continues eastward.
Should we get closer to see like what it is? Crew?
I suppose we can do that. Yeah. Let's sail out and at least get a better look at the ship.
So you're gonna have to get within about 100 feet to be able to see it.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Is there like a flag we could fly that says like just looking?
Then no, there is no just looking flag because you guys are not a warship, so you're not actually entitled to be just looking.
Let me see what flags. What flags do we have?
Lots.
Where's the?
This is a Cavaran's flag, you said?
Yep. Technically, it's the Duchy of Kavath, but same shit.
The Defiance. That's what I want. Storage.
I was also looking through the forts. I don't know why I feel like I remember us
The
having.
Mythosian War, the Hathon War. Yes, the Mythosian War flag and the Athenian War flag. What flag are we flying now?
I would assume the
City
city-state
state.
one because it's your default flag.
Alrighty.
Yeah, it's the city-state merchant flag.
We can try and get close to them. I don't think this is them, and I have a much better description of the ship if we can actually see the ship. But
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys approach.
Yeah,
You
let's-
raise your sail.
Let's get close enough to see what kind of ship it is first.
You approach the vessel, and you see an outline of the ship long before you see the ship itself. The outline reveals it to be a caravel, which is a sort of small sailing
Alright,
vessel
this
with
is-
a crew of maybe 30 people.
this is not it.
Do we know what kind of ship the Sparrow is?
Yeah, it's a Hulk, but I have noted here the bow will be wider than other Hulks. It also has golden gilding. The sails are fine quality.
All right.
I
so
think
yeah,
it'll-
don't
I think
this is
it'll-
it then, yeah.
I think it'll
Hulks are
stand
massive.
out. I think it'll stand out a little bit. Yeah, we can leave the ship alone.
Yeah.
Okay. Two ships come from the east this time. They're both flying West Exeter and flags. Both of them are war flags.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's very timely. Yep.
I'll let them pass.
A good idea.
At around 2:30 in the afternoon, everyone on ship has made their own lunches. No one's particularly happy with them. You've drank your grog, and then Georg, you spot another flag. This one is a sort of 4-part separated flag where there's like a little coat of arms in the top right, little coat of arms in the bottom right, little like sort of like that, where there's little coats of arms in each corner of the flag. Those being a wolf, a bull, a mounted knight, and then a soldier on foot, which is the flag of the Lord's League.
The flag of the Lord's League?
Indeed.
Hey, let's go.
Hey, yeah, I'll just call it down.
All right.
Alright, let's
The Archie blows the ship we must sink.
let's get closer.
Yeah, you guys lift your sails, and with no rowers, you just sort of steadily drift closer and closer. You see the sort of shape emerge from the fog. It's mostly just the silhouette at this point. There are several lanterns on the deck of the ship, which provide you a little bit of illumination of the top deck. You can see that this ship is clearly overburdened with people. People are like milling about the top deck that are not working. They're just like walking around talking. You can see that
it's just full of plague-ridden people.
It's a hulk with a wide bow. It has a large. It's like an oversized hulk that almost looks like for luxury transport.
So what if I say it has fine sails?
You can't see that. Only the silhouette of the ship.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
so we've already got the Lord's League and wide bow the Hulk.
okay. Let's keep getting closer.
Okay.
I would like them to stop
Yeah.
before we do this.
As you guys approach, since you're not trying to be stealthy,
Once we can get into semaphore range, I'll semaphore them to stop.
that would be just shouting range because of how bad visibility is.
Okay, yeah. We'll just get.
Well, they will
shouting
signal
range
you with a lantern, basically, by closing and opening it. It seems as if near the front of the ship, there's actually someone who's working, and they'll signal you with a lantern, which
good.
after it's translated, you're already like halfway to the ship. But essentially, it says hello. That's all the message says.
Oh,
Do we just want
okay.
to shoot them?
We could ask their ship name.
Yeah, I'll do.
By the time that message, gets there and back, you'll be within range of the ship. Visual range.
I'll have someone up front with a lantern signaling, but like just fucking random words because it won't matter.
Base.
Just to make them think we're signaling back.
Yeah. All right. Then eventually, you get close enough that you can see them regardless of the fog. You can see on the top deck there's about 30 people, 10 of which are actual workers aboard the vessel. There's a golden gilding along the wood near the captain's cabin. The sails look to be made of some alternate material, not your standard, sails. Not like canvas, something else. And then near the front of the ship, someone who looks like a captain, maybe a ship owner, shipmaster, some person of ship-based authority has made their way to the bow of the ship. And as you guys sort of come into view, the shipmaster looks in your direction. And the people on this deck are noblemen. This shipmaster looks very wealthy.
Boys, I'm starting to rethink some things.
Well, it's either attempt this combat, and we do have
Combat? It's noblemen. What do you mean combat?
Yeah, well,
We're gonna. I mean, I know I'm saying it's either we do this combat and we kill. Okay, was it not implied that it was like important people from the?
No, it was directly stated it was a hold full of corpses, and we were not to get close at all.
and that was
And we were just-
obviously a lie.
we already
so-
failed that task of getting close.
and he was obviously lying when he told me that.
Cool. So then it's
Does
not
that matter? Do we
corpses,
want the
so there's
whole-
Okay, so
don't
what
want
I'm thinking
issues
is
with
we
this.
board them, take their shit, and then sink them anyway. We
Yeah.
just
Yeah, no, we do. We like 100% need to sink them just because I don't want to.
Yes. We were sinking them is we are always going to sink
Okay,
them.
I thought
Question is
you were
whether
saying
they-
we're not gonna sink them. I was about to be like,
No.
Okay.
No. We always will sink them. Yes.
Yeah.
The question is,
Feel
do
like-
we board them and take their shit first?
We were specifically instructed not to do that.
Well,
We
they
very much
Probably
were,
for a
yes.
reason.
Yes, that's an excellent point. Okay, yeah, I'll walk up to the deck
Yeah.
and shout out, "What ship is this?"
The shipmaster will sort of grab a cone and shout back, "The Sparrow."
I'll just look over and nod to the Marines. Have at her.
And the first cannonball that fires, because you have to alter the alignment of the ship. The ship master of their ship seems to recognize what's about to happen before it does, so he immediately, slams to his belly. But the other people on the deck, they don't. And you watch as the cannonball fires from the tip of the Defiance, skips across the deck of that ship, and just obliterates through like a line of people. And this is not a combat. A combat implies that there's two parties that have some ability to like resist it. Their ship's unarmed. They don't have any Marines aboard. And they will immediately throw up a white flag of surrender. But you knew that they were going to do that. And so you withdraw into the darkness of the fog and you fire at the silhouette because you don't actually need to see like the details of the deck. It's just not important for shooting them. And sure enough, this basically is target practice in terms of like, the difficulty. The only thing we need to roll is how many cannonballs it takes to destroy the ship.
This is sad.
So, all right.
I need you to roll me. Let me check the Defiance sheet real quick.
Oh, this is great. I love when it's like beating a helpless animal.
It's like we're trying to beat ourselves for how awful we're being each time.
Roll a d20 plus 6, Ethan, and we keep rolling those until you get 5 hits. And you're
Is William on deck? What's he saying?
he despair.
What's the
Bro's like realizing.
what's necessary to hit?
It's 13 or higher.
All right, my thing's not working. All right, a miss, a hit. Is that 2 hits?
Yeah. Well, technically not.
All
But
right.
yeah.
All right, 2 hits, a hit. That's 4 hits.
Plus 6, that's still a hit.
Plus 6,
Oh,
the 8 is a hit.
Oh,
yeah.
what's plus 6?
So you
there we
fired
go.
a total of 7 rounds, so we'll remove that from the sheet.
3, 4, 5, 6? Question mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I count 6.
Oh, you're right, 6. So by the time that the ship, as you see the ship sink, you do see a couple, 2 little, what do you call those, dinghies, split off from the Sparrow and move off into the fog. And while you can't see who's on them or what the state of the carnage you've left in the water here is, you can see them and the silhouettes of them. So I assume you're going to try to take those out as well?
Probably for the best that
Right.
no one. Actually, so I'll take one out and we'll see if we can go pick up the other one. I'm a little curious.
I don't understand why. Okay.
So,
Well, no, it's just
Can-
Unios.
what?
No, you can do that easily. It's just Unios mentioned the thing of like they wanted us not to go near the ship for a reason, and then you're doing that thing. I don't know why you wouldn't just have boarded the ship originally if you were going to do it anyways.
yeah, that makes sense, I suppose. Cannon them both.
Okay. All
Or
right.
I guess run up and
So they're-
go up and shoot them with muskets or whatever.
Well, actually, it's up to you.
Preferably
uh,
cannon, I'd say. Because he said not to get too close. I'm guessing so
I
they
mean,
can't see our name.
we got with it. They're all gonna die, aren't they?
But maybe speak with dead because they're all nobles.
They will all have sunk into the water.
Bodies float.
Yeah, I'm sure there's someone.
Oh, bodies float.
Oh, bodies do float. For an amount of time, not well in choppy water, but I suppose they could eventually roll up to shore.
Well, for firing at these dinghies, the AC is 10.
Musket is last resort. Like if they're like actually getting away.
All right, yeah. If
Okay.
one looks, yeah.
Well,
all
let's
right,
get Yara to roll these since
There's
you're...
Crab. We can raise his morale a bit. He can throw fireworks.
Crab's just been in the captain's cabin reading a book during this whole encounter.
miss out on this. This thing is.
I'm not gonna go down there. And I don't
Vezier,
see
roll me a
that.
d20 plus 6, and you may have to roll a
20
couple of
plus
these,
6.
so probably copy the code. Okay, that's one
Nice.
hit. That's one dinghy just obliterated. One more.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, and it's gone.
Yeah, so after, about, what would that be? 20 minutes of fire and the sound of cannons bursting and screaming and torn thing. You are largely not out of gunpowder. You used about 1/3 of your storage. You still have one of your barrels left though, and the water around you is starting to go fetid. Like you're seeing parts from the ship because you're not that far away. You're just in the fog, so you're like 300 feet away from it, which isn't far at all. And you're seeing bits of that ship beginning to float towards yours. Your destroyed limbs and chests that managed to stay locked up, so they're buoyant, so they float on the surface. Bits of floating timber. That ship's destroyed. All the dinghies are destroyed. Maybe a couple people are still alive. You could go manually search through the wreck if you want to see if anyone's clinging to like driftwood or whatever, but the ship is gone.
Probably be best to finish the job.
Okay.
I mean,
Make
we
sure
were told
no one-
not to get too close, right?
I mean, man, it's like that already happened. That I
Yeah,
don't know
but
what
they
to tell you.
wouldn't. If they tell us that, they kind of expect it for you to be left behind. I'd probably like to do that.
Eric's, we're experienced seamen. What are the odds that like someone can survive in the wreckage?
Long
Or,
term, very low. In the short term, there's probably at least one survivor.
like how short term? Like hours?
Yeah. The thing is, like,
How cold's the Midlands?
it's actually not
in
that
this
cold.
time,
The reason
but-
why they're going to die is because that driftwood is not going to take them to shore. Not in the Straits of Giles, anyways. Like, you guys have what's his name? Andre survived a similar circumstance to this. You can easily survive a ship getting destroyed. Well, easily. You can, if you're lucky, survive a ship getting blown up. You just have to grab some driftwood and pray to whatever god you worship. The problem is that here in the Straits of Giles, they're going to be punted over towards West Exeter, which is going to take 3 or 4 days, and they will just die of water dehydration. Their only chance of survival is someone picking them up onto their ship. And if they try to
don't
swim,
really
they'll
want
also
that to
die,
happen.
but that'll be for hypothermia reasons.
Yeah, I guess the question is, do we think our patrons care more about us finishing the job or staying far away?
I think finishing the job, because because like onesies or twosies, we can like puncture their bodies and make sure they sink. Right? That's pretty easy to do.
Okay.
I mean, you just shoot them full of
If
holes.
we're going
and
in
the
anyway, we
body
can
will
grab
sink.
some of those floating chests.
That's
see.
that's not a bad idea.
All right.
Agreed.
You raise the sails and begin to roll forward closer to the wreckage. There will the sounds of like the occasional pot shot from your marines will echo across the deck because there are a couple of survivors clinging to driftwood or whatever else, but that will be dealt with.
Yep.
So we'll remove about 10 musket balls in total, just because there's a couple misses in there. And if you'd like to bring all the trunks onto your ship that are floating by, you can get about 8 chests worth of stuff.
Yeah.
All right then, let's see what's in them.
Alrighty.
Money.
One of the Marines, a couple of the Marines, including Andre, are going to get on a little dinghy and begin to travel through the wreck, puncturing bodies with like spears or attaching just dead weight to them, like tying them to other like pieces of metal, just sort of dropping as much of the stuff, basically post-battle cleanup. While you guys can look through the chests. In the 8 chests, 7 of them are filled with fine clothes.
Sick. Those are pretty expensive.
Yeah, correct, because it's
Are
20
they
pounds.
Oh, ruined?
No, they're not
Okay.
ruined because they floated, which means that they weren't filled with water, and they'd have sunk in that case.
All right.
And then the final one has just a single book.
Oh.
What's in what language?
Elvish.
Oh.
I toss that overboard.
You notice when the book hits the
wait.
water's surface, because it's an instinct. You just see the book, read Elvish, throw it off the edge of the ship. As you do so, and it hits the surface of the water, the pages don't get wet, but the book sinks.
Grab's gonna lose it. Don't grab.
If anyone who's around me,
Yeah, it's only you and like Shaibon, and Shaibon was like opening up the locks for you, so it's you and Shaibon just sees you toss this book.
don't tell anyone about that.
Is it a book?
Just tell them. If they ask, it was worthless. A book on botany or something.
I'll just say it was all 8 boxes filled with fine clothes.
For the best. Cool.
And the rest of it, you can count up a total of. There is a total of 20 pounds to a chest to be half full, so it's 10 pounds, 5 fine clothes weight. So it's 35 sets of fine clothes.
Did you add it to the sheet?
I did indeed. And
We got a mild profit.
yeah, I mean,
Yo,
you've
we
heard of
get
fine
the
clothes being
whole
worth as
thing?
much as 10 gold.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Also, we can all show up dripped out of our minds.
That is true. That's enough drip for the entire crew. Though these are all seem to be fitted for slightly skinnier and probably a woman, if you had to guess.
all of them.
Okay.
Yes, correct, all of them.
I wonder how many women we sank.
Weirdly enough, they all seem to be designed for a very similarly proportioned woman. Probably just one person.
We were probably killing someone. Like that was probably targeted on a specific person.
Yeah.
That hit.
That was the
If we've
point.
learned
We killed
anything in
someone.
this campaign, it's that there's gonna be no consequences.
Well, I mean,
Georg,
maybe,
in the upper
maybe
mast,
not. We'll find out, won't we?
up at the top of the ship, Georg, in the east, you can see that due to the sounds of cannon fire, it's been about 30 minutes since you have fired your first cannon round. You can see a distant flag. It's about really far. I mean, like 9 miles away, probably. You literally just see this little bit of fluttering silhouette in the distance. A ship is approaching you from the east.
I mean, yeah, I'll just warn them the moment I see the flag.
Yeah.
Ship
If
approaching 1 miles down.
if we lower our flag, will it be much harder to see us?
Correct. If you
in
undo the
in fog?
lanterns and you lower your flag, you could go complete stealth mode in this fog. It'd be a nightmare to see you.
Okay, let's do that and go the
Yeah.
exact opposite direction of
Yeah.
that ship.
Okay.
Bail.
Yep.
We're bailing. All right.
Lanterns off. Sail down.
Let's get 2 navigation checks and a helmsman check.
Uh-oh. How many helmsman die do you have saved up? It'd be a shame to go in a circle and run into this guy again.
Let me check after I roll.
The
some
second one is a pass.
navigator. I have.
Okay,
Nine
I know at least a 24 is a pass.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can also just tell you the weather conditions, so I don't know if this will help you, but it is
That would be good,
severe
yes.
fog, light
Okay.
wind, light rain.
Okay, I don't think a 20 is going to pass because I've done this before and I got above a 20 and I still failed somehow. So let's see what we get here. That's not good. That's not what we like. All right, so a 12. And Jackson, you said you have 9.
Now I have 8.
No, that D6 was my thing.
Oh, then yeah, I have 9.
All right. 13, 14,
Oh,
18, 20, 23. Okay, I know a 24 passed. What are the odds of 23 passes?
Well, we have 4 helmsman dice left.
Yeah, let's just do it. Let's yeah, use it.
All right.
All right. There we
All
go.
right,
There is
a
one
27.
final question I have to ask you. So since you are in the straits, you can see either side of the strait, just because you're near the middle of it. So your option is the north coastline that goes northwest, or the coastline that goes southwest. Which one do you want to take?
What's on the north coastline? The Lord's League,
Yep.
right?
Map.
And the south coastline is
Estenia.
Cabaranth?
Astenia.
Oh, Estenia. Fuck, yeah, Estenia.
Okay.
Wait, did we?
Uh,
Let's see the coastline.
Can we see the world?
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, we want to end up on the northern coast anyway,
Yeah.
because that's where Tucson is, so I'm thinking we go to the northern coast.
So the opposite of what you said before.
What?
You said Astenia before, which is not the north coast. That's the south coast.
He was just repeating.
No,
Oh.
I was repeating what you were saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're going north coast.
Hold on. If we're right around here,
Okay.
which path do you think is like shorter?
I'm just going to tell you now. You can see both coastlines, so you're not nearly that far west. You are within the straits still.
Okay. Let me. do a
Oh,
quick
I
look.
see. No, I do see what Xander is saying. Actually, yeah. I think
Someone else
we're
wanna
going
mention
to-
the northern coast real quick.
we're going to Amiens.
Yeah, which is that whole
Dude,
gulf in that.
I think that southern bit might be shorter, unless we take a cut across. Alex, does that gulf have a name? That gulf, that bay, whatever.
It surely
that
does. You just
body?
don't know it.
Oh, okay, cool.
You're way outside of
Plus,
your
there's
comfort
also
zone.
this-
You're in Eastern Valorous now, or you're in Western Valorous now.
Okay, we've got 530 miles or so over here.
Oh,
that's
damn.
like-
Maybe the northern way is shorter.
I took a few shortcuts though. That I
Oh
felt
yeah,
were-
I do see that.
approximated it. I would say, like it's like a difference that I feel in the grand scale of things is gonna only amount to like 3 days at most. It's fine to take the northern coast.
All right, let's take.
Then again,
I mean, so Eric's, you said which flag was this on the ship that's
You
coming?
can't see, it's too far.
Lord's League. Oh, the one that's coming.
Mhm.
Which direction is it coming from?
East.
Okay, that's almost. I almost can guarantee that's one of the Lords, or not one of the West Exeter blockade ships. Then.
wait,
Or it
the
could
Civil
be-
War is happening all throughout
Yeah.
this whole area, right?
No.
Oh.
No.
So Eric's, which of these north or south is more commonly taken? Do we know?
No.
Okay.
Also, you
I'm
have heard
guessing-
almost affirmatively that the Lord's League has plague. That doesn't mean Estenia doesn't. It just means that you know for a fact that Lord's League does.
I think Eric's is asking because we're gonna see if these people like follow us along the coast on accident or not.
Gross. Let's go south. I don't. Guaranteed plague and maybe plague. I'm gonna go with maybe plague.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the large cities are spaced out a bit better.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. You guys head south. You get basically a
jump
day's
from
worth of
south to
travel in as you travel throughout the evening westward. You never see that ship again. You
You literally just go directly.
Georg
north.
briefly spots it, and then you just never see it again. And you continue westward. That evening, the atmosphere on the ship is grim. William is not doing good. He hasn't spoken much. Even the top men, I don't know. It's one thing to fight pirates, and it's another thing to steal from merchantmen. You didn't actually kill any of them, like, during your whole piracy thing. This was a different thing. This was fun. Like, this is, like, fundamentally different than some of the other stuff that you've done on the voyage. And while Philo Cord doesn't give a fuck because he's a borderline psychopath, some of the younger members of the crew, like Oleg or William, Ite Yildrim, they're a bit shell-shocked by the carnage that unfolded, because you could hear, like, you know, the sound of cannonballs hitting the deck and screams and like people begging that they want to surrender. The little dinghies trying to desperately escape. It's pretty grim.
How many dinghies do we have?
Yeah, that's fair.
A lot. You've harvested
Oh,
them from
7
ships that
dinghies. Oh
you've
my God.
destroyed.
Not this one.
Alrighty. Well, we're gonna burn through a couple days of travel because this day, a lovely blessed day, the fog lifts. It is now severe fog instead of a fog. Oh wait, no, never mind. I thought it was one condition better. It's the exact same. So the severe fog remains, and there's now moderate wind instead of light wind. So let's get two helmsman checks from
Wait,
not helmsman.
Aren't I following?
Yeah,
the
we don't need any
coastline
helmsman
here?
checks. We just need navigator
Oh,
checks.
thank God. Okay. All right, that's good.
Fail. Pass. Would you like to know where you're at?
Sure.
Alrighty. You are 69 miles west of Chalcedon. That's very funny.
Nice.
Bro, don't pretend you're above it, Euro. You're one of us.
No, I'm laughing. What are you?
I hate you, bro.
Didn't he laugh? Isn't that like what he did?
No, it's a sarcastic laugh.
We're just surprised to hear you.
No, that's not a
laugh,
real Yarrow
obviously.
laugh. I know a real Yarrow laugh when I hear one. Anyways,
You know.
that's where we are.
All right.
Cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, we travel along the coast.
We're traveling.
We're
We're sad
traveling.
and traveling, but we're rich.
On the road
Sad
again.
and
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, boys,
No,
I do.
they wouldn't notice.
Oh.
They would have done the same to us.
That'd be sad
Holy
and pitch.
shit.
Sad and
That's some bit.
Sad
That's
and rich
based. All right.
Yes. The alternative for us is to be like poor and unhappy. There's no poor and happy scenario here. So.
That's true.
I do have one thing I'd like to discuss.
Sure.
How do we feel about selling the cannon at the end of this?
I feel like that's part of a larger question at the end of this of what do we do?
Yeah, that's part of. I feel like that's included in the. Will the Defiance still exist after? The end of
Yeah,
this?
yeah. Are we all
Well,
gonna
the
pay
ship itself
ourselves?
will, but
Well, if like half the crews, if the crew is like functionally not there, then we just like sell everything, get our shares, like
Yeah.
disperse and live in the
that'd
fucking
be
Lord's like.
so many shares. Yeah, okay. Yep, we can delay that question then.
Yeah.
All right, let's get 2 more navigation checks. We're gonna spam through a bunch of these because do you guys actually want to stop at any Estenian city?
I don't think so.
Because we have enough
Maybe
food
not.
to just
for-
get to Tucson.
Yeah.
Not for anything. I mean, do we want more Marines specifically? I
Oh,
genuinely
that's
do
true.
not.
We do need.
I genuinely do not care about the rest of the crew at this point. Just Marines would be helpful.
Yeah, that's a good sound.
I mean, like we don't need more crewmen. We can get there with the amount we have, and we're not conducting piracy, so it's not a big deal anymore.
But what
I
the job
know-
we're doing specifically, more Marines is probably helpful. Even not
Yeah.
Marines, even mercenaries. Is it?
Okay.
Oh, are these people
Yeah.
known to be on boats and ships and stuff, or
Mercenaries?
No, the people you're killing.
Then yes.
like the people we're going?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe so. This is a distinctly land-based mission.
Then probably skip the Marines. We just need fighting men.
Yeah, Marines, fighting men, whatever. We get some kind of them.
Some kind of
Yeah, so I suppose we will stop in each city, Alex,
Okay.
and see
Well,
if we can.
We do want to minimize plague risk, probably, even if.
Yes, I
if it
suppose
could be-
the first city we shall just yes.
Well,
we
that's
want to
good
stop
because
in
at around
cities,
noon,
basically.
you guys have been following the coast. The fog did clear
Did I
up
get
this day.
sailing?
You got
Sailing
2,
die
yeah.
from those last two?
Yeah, you got 2. The fog's cleared up, so it's just nice, moderate wind. This is what you're expecting from the Midland Sea. The sea is placid, very flat, not big, crazy waves. And then from your southwest, you see these big black plumes of smoke rising into the sky. You all recognize that's burning wood. That's not like a natural campfire. These are great big bonfires burning wood and all sorts of other shit. And slowly, a city comes into view. And the bonfires are outside the city walls, and you can see these little silhouettes. And at first, you're not 100% sure what you're looking at, and then you see that it is carts throwing corpses onto pyres.
Oh, fuck.
My guess is there's plague here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next
Okay.
city,
Done.
maybe, if we're not
Um,
seeing burning outside.
Unlikely. I think we're gonna be going into this with the fighting men we have.
Yeah.
We don't want to stop by and check in with the boys.
No, I think that'll be okay.
Yep.
All right,
time.
let's get another.
As much as I would like to, bad idea.
All right, so you leave the city behind, and let's get 2 more navigation checks.
Yeah, maybe this next city will have less plague. Or no
Clueless.
plague.
That's 2 passes.
He doesn't know.
All right, you end the day
I
having
do, I
crossed
can just
through
hope.
a horn, like a large peninsula is the proper term. But yeah, that'll end the day. So let's get 2 more navigation checks.
This was
All right,
supposed
pass,
to be
pass.
the easy part of the voyage.
It is the easy part of the voyage. Okay, strong wind. So that would mean that at around 3 hours in, a city begins to come into view. There is fog, but not nearly as bad as it was back in the Straits. It's a light fog. So you do see the city from way far off. You don't see any corpse piles, but then you see a large chain raised across the harbor. They are not admitting ships, nor can ships leave.
All right. Well, that plague or not does us no good then.
Mm-hmm. So you continue your journey. You pass by a woodland, and a couple members of the crew get the heebie-jeebies, like they're being watched. And I think Philo, you're in the captain's cabin, Crab is there, and Philo will walk in and say, "Captain,
Yeah.
I have a special request just for today.
Okay.
I'd like to keep traveling throughout the night. These woods remind me of, it reminds me of the Great Fey Woods, sir.
I'm guessing, we passed the second city, so yeah, it's here.
I asked one of the
Ugh.
northern boys, the carpenter who doesn't speak much. He said these woods in Estenia are known as Fey Woods.
I'll waddle up onto deck and take a look at them.
Yeah, you stare out at the woods. They look like any other section of woods you pass by on your voyage here. The only difference is that the moment you look at them, you get the distinct impression that something is watching you.
That reminds me of how we lost a certain crew member.
It reminds everyone in the crew of that.
Yeah. Family Guy style flashback to Rudel exploding.
Why would you say Family Guy?
Because it's that much funnier, dude.
Hey guys, remember that time Rudel?
This reminds me of the time one of our crew members exploded.
Okay.
But
But yeah, it feels uncomfy to look at, that would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's for the best. Yes.
Okay, you guys push another hour
let's
into the
keep
evening.
going.
Because of a strong wind, you actually make a lot of progress in that evening. No exhaustion, but also no short rest, which doesn't really change much.
Well, we don't get short rests
Exactly,
anyway.
yeah.
So
as long as you don't push for like 5, 6, 7 hours, you can always push a little bit extra. All right, so yeah, you push for another hour until the woods leave the line of sight, and everyone takes a sigh of relief. Not that they didn't know they'd been, holding in, let loose this stress, because those woods made people freak out just a little bit. If the 3 guys that had been really superstitious were still alive, I'm sure they would have had all sorts of rituals, but they all got hung in Swine set.
oh well. Anyway.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's get a 2 navigation checks from the good old navigator. All right, that's 2 passes. It's a clear day. And at about noon, what is it with you guys coming in cities at noon? Very odd, sussy. At about noon,
It's high
a city
noon.
comes into view. This thing looks like once it was incredible. You have these old stone buildings and all that stuff, but seems to have definitely lost itself in the last couple centuries. You're seeing moss growing along these ancient structures, big, massive buildings being used as, like gatehouses and bathhouses. And you see no active sign that the city is either A, burning its dead, or it's locked off from outsiders.
All right, a good sign. Let's head on into port.
Yeah, as you
Maybe
approach.
smarter than the other 2 cities.
Whoa, let's talk.
Yes, we will take. I'm not just gonna fucking go trouncing in there. Okay, I will. We'll do all we can to double check.
Yeah,
first.
well, as you head closer to the harbor, you start to look at individual scenes going on in the docks to try to make your determination. So you look at the inner walls, right? There are scorpions pointed towards the harbor, standard defensive tactic. The soldiers here, they're kind of young. Like, this is not the types of people that you'd be expecting to be on a city watch. You're looking at, like, old men and young boys, which is a little bit odd. Maybe they're off fighting a war somewhere, who knows? So then you look at the harbor itself, and you see dead people in the streets. Their bodies left unattended too. You don't know whether that means they're doing way worse than the other 2 cities or better. You can't tell, but there are just corpses, like, actively, like, leaning against walls and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that combat ability called like
come about,
face or whatever it is. Yeah, come about. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that and go the other way.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you guys turn around. During all this, the city is so quiet. That's another thing you didn't realize until you're starting to leave, how quiet it was. Like, that is a city that is dying. Like, actually. There's not even, like, proper, like, maintenance or administration to, like, remove bodies from the street. That city is gonna have a rough fucking time.
Alex, what did you say the like lethality rate of the plague was?
Normally, it's only about 10 to 20%.
I hate when you say normal.
Normally?
Yeah, because that's across the global population. You can, just because of how stats work, you can have one city that loses almost every single person.
Yeah.
Wait, this city was Lombardia?
I am.
Yeah, it was
I'm curious now. Why is that?
Why is what?
Because
Like-
he's counting total world population.
No. I mean,
Oh, why is Lombardia
Yeah,
so
that-
fucked?
yeah, like why? Not Lombardia specifically. Why do certain places do
Oh,
worse
I don't know.
than perhaps
Stats?
others? Just like different.
yeah, just statistics.
Oh, all right,
Like,
all right, cool. all
that's
right.
just because, like, here's a question. Like, this is the Thanos snap meme. If Thanos snaps and half of all life in the universe dies, it wouldn't be exactly half on every planet. Some planets would just be eradicated from existence, and others would have everyone untouched completely. So that's just how.
Statistically,
Yeah, that basically it's that argument. I'm putting up my finger. I'm saying
All right,
actually.
we can have it.
actually, that's real.
Let's get
All right, yeah, he is wrong. That's not the way this should work. But we can move on.
let's get 2 more navigation checks. Let me roll weather. Both passed, and strong wind. Wowzers! What a day! What a day!
Let's go. Isn't that pretty similar to yesterday?
The day before yesterday, yeah.
Oh.
Alrighty. Well, today is a stressful one. William still hasn't spoken much to the crew, especially not Shaibon, especially not anyone who fired those cannons. But he does seem to. He needs to talk to somebody. He started to get a bit more comfortable with the top men. And at around like 10 a.m., you're on the top deck, Adrian. You and Georg are up there. There's not much for him to watch. A couple ships have passed you guys by, but this is not the bustling mercantile hub of the world that you guys were expecting when you entered the Midland Sea. You've seen like 6 or 7 ships pass you by, and they all keep huge distance from you, like several miles, and they'll adjust their course to make sure they can keep a several mile distance from you. So the plague seems to definitely dampen that activity. So you and Georg are on the top deck chatting, and Philo Cord will walk up and say, Captain, the northern boy says that these woods are, well, Fane as well. Says there's some ancient sword within them.
I'm gonna look at these woods.
Yeah.
Do I get the heebie-jeebies from these ones too?
You look at the woods. They're definitely visually... When someone says the woods look magical, what they mean is that they're old growth, because most forests in Valeros are very well managed. They're maintained to serve their population, whereas Fey woods are not touched because you will die if you do that. These woods look more like that. No one has been harvesting wood from these forests, maybe ever. This is old growth, untouched, which does make you think it's magical in that sense, but it doesn't give you the heebie-jeebies. In fact, a little bit of you feels like something's watching you, but that it's watching over you rather than stalking you.
Oh. Huh. That's... I mean, I'm not getting the heebie-jeebies from this one.
Philo looks at you
It looks
and looks
old,
towards the
but-
woods.
Looks old, but in fact, it seems kind of comforting. Like something's watching over me.
I mean, I didn't get too freaked out about the Great Feywood ever before. I'd passed that thing half a dozen times, and then we got wrecked in a cove and a hag. Well, you know the rest.
Well, Alex, how far on the day are we?
You just started the day when you first starting to see these woods.
I mean, we'll probably make it. Hopefully, we'll just make it past the woods once this is all said and done with.
He nods.
Maybe we will, maybe we won't, but...
And as evening is falling, many, many hours later, the woods are still in view to your south and southeast. Do you want to push an extra hour just to get out of sight of the...
We'll push an hour.
All right, you push an hour.
See where we're at then.
And as you end your hour, you can see a city to your southwest. The city is trashed. It looks like it got sacked. There's a section of the walls that's been broken open. The harbor is filled with like broken timbers and no ships. The city doesn't look like it has the plague, but does look like the people are recovering from an army running through their city, basically.
I wonder if that means there'll be a lot of fighting men or no fighting men. It's going to be one of the two.
It's evening is falling though, and the harbor facilities are unable to take in new ships. So if you're going to go there, it's going to be parking your ship in the harbor and then doing dinghies to the shore. So that'll be a thing for tomorrow morning.
For tomorrow, yeah. Okay.
All right, let me spam the reduced travel rations button 5 times. 3.
What does what does everyone else think of that logic? Does that seem sound?
I mean, at this point, we could just like get our mercs and Amiens, no? Or will there be
aren't
a civil
Aren't
war?
they in the middle of a civil war though?
Yes.
Isn't that like the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yes. So I highly doubt there are any fighting men.
Clearly,
Do we
these
think
guys
10
are
is enough?
too.
I mean, like, it might be, but like, if 10 is enough, 20 is definitely going to be enough. And if 10 isn't enough, you know, good to have 20. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense, but I just don't know where we would get any of them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking go super hard on this, but if we stop in it, looks like this is gonna be hardwood. and there is fighting men there, well, all the better for us. And if there's not, we're no worse off.
Okay. Well, the following morning.
I'm cool, yeah.
We should check about plague in the city.
But yes, if there's plague here, it's all irrelevant because I'm not fucking set here.
Well, it is October 30th, All Hallows Eve, and in the morning, you guys.
What?
What?
The 30th?
Yeah. The day before Halloween, All Hallows Eve.
Oh, that makes sense, I suppose.
Yep. And you guys begin to
Ignore
approach
me.
the harbor of this city. Do we know what city we're going to? Do we have any idea?
This is Harwood.
Harwood. Yes, indeed it is. So we approach the city of Harwood. In the harbor, at first, there's no reaction. Like, the people are continuing to rebuild rubble and collect broken bits of wood from the harbor and things like that. But eventually, when it's clear they're actually attempting to dock, a small landing party, or greeting party, seems to come out towards one of the piers that is semi-functioning. It can't accommodate the Defiance, but it could accommodate your dinghies. You can see that there's one paladin among them and a couple of other soldiers, though the soldiers look very mismatchy, look a lot more like levy than like professional soldiers. Notably, you still see no sign of plague. A lot of dead people, but they're like, it's obvious what killed them. It's not plague. It's like
sword, like slashes.
Weirdly enough, it's crossbow bolts is the majority of them. Other ones seem to have been killed by axes. You see signs of what look to be flame damage on a lot of buildings. Could be torches or maybe fire bolts or something else like that. And the destruction, now that you're actually looking at it from the harbor perspective, it's a straight line from the city wall to the harbor. Whatever army came through here didn't actually pillage the city. They just wanted access to the harbor at all costs.
Huh. Interesting. All right.
And who all is getting on a dinghy?
Me, Unios, Vezio, and Georg, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys hop into a dinghy.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. We should be careful because we don't have, we've got high-level fighting people. I was gonna say we should be worried about too many fighters who might decide to steal our loot since we're a small ship, but I don't know.
I
Crab.
think y'all are fine.
I don't mean us. I mean like the ship, the Defiance.
Oh.
What?
No, I don't think anyone's gonna come mess with us shit. We got.
I mean,
No.
if we hire 10 mercs, they're capable. They see we have like 5 fighting members. They mutiny and take like all our gold.
And then Crab fireballs them. We all die. They die. We die. We're
Which is
still
what I
dead, but
came
they're
to,
dead.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
This was like the similar thing I brought up back in the streets.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, yeah. But I think the payout is probably worth just sticking around for a little bit longer.
Andre
Would
plus
tip the power
Crab.
balance.
Yeah. If
Anyone that
Andre
wants to mutiny pretty hard.
if Andre fails, Crab just fireballs us all. And we'll die.
But by the way, how are full moons doing, Eric?
There's one coming in 2 days.
Does William
fortunately-
know?
Bro, William doesn't talk to you.
Anyone.
That's understandable.
He was just actually scammed into being a carpenter for a ship.
He talks to
I,
2 top men and that's it. He does his work silently and looks at you all with blank, empty expressions.
I wouldn't talk to us either. So that's fair.
Yeah.
So you guys rowed ashore to this pier. As you get closer to the pier, you can see how fucked up a lot of the levy soldiers are. They're like, all of them have some sort of injury. The only person here that looks fine is the paladin. He has plate armor on that's all dinged and nicked from damage. He has a badge on his chest, which is probably some denoter of rank, but you fucking have no idea what it means. He has a great sword and glowing green eyes. And as you get closer, he says, "Hello."
Hello. Is there plague here?
No, not yet.
Yet?
I've heard it's reached the capital.
Was that the last city over?
It is Lombardia.
Coming from. Yeah, the last city we passed on the east.
Then, yes.
From the east. Yeah, definitely plague there.
So, what is your business in Harwood? I'm the marshal of this city.
Oh, we're seeking fighting men.
He looks at you. Looks back at the city. Looks back at you.
Well, the logic was either there's a bunch or none. I'm gonna go with none.
The Dawi throng saw to that.
I wondered who came through here. Okay.
Holy face.
The Alex, have I heard that term before?
No, none of those words mean anything to you.
I think throng does.
There's no
but...
dwarves in Eastern Valoros. That doesn't mean shit to you. I mean, there are, but they were hiding in their mountain for over a century, so.
The word throng does.
Oh yeah, a group, yeah,
it's like
a
the
gang,
throng
yeah.
word, but you know.
The Dawi?
Yes,
Who are they?
the Ironbeards, the Blue Mountain Dawi, the dwarves of the Vorn Mountains.
Oh, dwarves.
What are they doing out of the mountains?
Their mountains are
Yeah, they
broken.
don't speak- Broken? Can mountains do that?
Apparently.
Oh. Unfortunate.
I hear if you
for
go to
all.
Cavaranth, ash chokes the air, destroys fields, ends harvests. The Dawi came up north. Rather than negotiate, they killed me, killed my men, stormed the city.
Killed you? Oh. I'll look at his glowing eyes.
Yeah.
Ah, I see. Well, I assume you have no. Yeah. You know what? I suppose we'll stop in here for the night then. Or wait, it's the beginning of the day, isn't it?
Indeed.
Yeah, we have no reason to stay here then. Well,
There's no pier that could accommodate your ship anyways. They took all of the vessels in the harbor and destroyed what ships remained so that we could not chase them.
Oh.
I would recommend
How
not
have you
going to
always-
Renfield either.
Uh-oh.
They spoke of that as their next destination.
Ah. Wait, don't.
Did they say anything about Amiens?
I did not get a chance to ask when they shot me in the chest.
Are dwarves big crossbow users? I didn't think they were.
He shrugs. I suppose so. A bolt from a bolt thrower is what killed me.
The more you know, I suppose. How long ago did this happen?
A couple of months ago. I know it
Oh,
doesn't
good,
seem
good,
like it, but it's been a month and a half of repairing everything.
So, no one with any fighting skill that may potentially be looking to escape the city?
Even if they wish to, they're currently in my employ as Marshal of Estenia.
Ah, I see. In that case, how have you all escaped the plague so far? We have some
Ships haven't been coming to our
technique,
harbor.
Oh,
There's a chirurgeon who was assisting many of the wounded, and he believes that a miasma is carried by those who are sick. Plus, those who have traditional illnesses I am capable of curing after my resurrection. There are not many left in this city, so my work plus his seems to have kept us safe thus far.
I see. Well, in that case, we will be on our way to Renfield.
He shrugs.
Thank you. And we'll dinghy on back to the boat.
Yeah, you guys dinghy on back to the Defiance. It's a fucked up city. It got fucked up real bad.
Yeah. Ah, that's crazy. I wonder who orchestrated that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we're headed north, huh? Across the, we're doing a little skippy skip.
Yeah, well, yes, that
I
would
think
be,
we are. I think we're doing a little.
would be
skippy.
the only way to do that.
All right, let's get a helmsman check. We already did our 2 navigation ones for today, I believe.
Yay! What's the weather?
It is strong wind, no rain, fog bank, which is the lightest type of fog. No, second lightest type of fog.
All right. 20. Oh, that's good. And a D6. 21.
Be happy with this number?
Yeah, I'm happy
Great,
with that
that
number.
passes. So we got that number, so we can. Yeah, we crossed that entire strait in about 3 hours. So
Nice.
about 3 hours later, a new city comes into view. This one has immense shore fortifications, large stoneworks built up along the southern face to protect it against naval assaults, and the city is obliterated. Similar to Harwood, some forces landed in the harbor, punched straight through the city, obliterating all in their path, and then exited through the north part of the city, because you can see several breaches through the wall.
Oh, okay then.
The city itself is additionally on top of the damage. The city itself, you can see corpse fires burning in the fields outside the city.
So they got messed up by the dwarves, and they have the plague.
Yep.
Unfortunate.
A double whammy.
Yeah, let's definitely not go here. I don't know what we're gonna do when we reach to Amiens and there's plague there, and we have to go to shore. But we'll. I'll consult the surgeon.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has many helpful medical insights on this
With
particular
that, like,
subject.
Clueless.
Expensive phlebotomy.
Yeah.
Yes, with his phlebotomy that Adrian very heavily prescribes to.
So where are we going now?
Amiens.
All right, you guys continue along the shore, headed eastward in the direction of Amiens, and you guys don't come into view of it today. Actually, no, you will, but it's really, really late when that happens, like the last 1 hour of travel. But before that, you guys are passing along the Tucsonian coastline, and you have never seen a place so fucked up. Like, almost all of these villages have the plague. You can just tell that because of the number of corpses and things like that. But also, it's been in a civil war for like 3 years at this point, or maybe 2 years. So there's also that. Like, these villages look like, you're seeing, some of these villages are just empty. You pass by dozens of abandoned villages. You're passing by villages where it's like more dead than alive people. You're passing villages that have fields rotting with like healthy grain ready to be harvested a couple months ago, and now it's just starting to rot in the fields. It's not looking great. And then, in the very end of the day, a city begins to come into view, and it is beautiful. It's probably the nicest city you've seen outside of like the city-state or some of the Mythosian cities. It is a 3-tiered city. There's this sort of ocean level that's level with the harbor, where there's this massive dock, welcome back, equal in size to that of the city-state. Then there's the second tier of the city. This one is protected by walls, and it contains gorgeous temples, cathedrals of all types. And then the final tier of the city, which seems to be on an elevated hill or some other natural, sort of upraised geography, is a number of palace complexes. There are 6 of them, and each of these palaces rival the Overlord's palace back in the city-state, and there are 6 of them perched atop the top of this hill. They are sprawling, they are opulent, and all of them now fly golden flags. And this city definitely has the plague, but, and there's a big but here, it seems to be confined to one little district of the city, because as you approach the city, you can see that the docks, people look fine. There are soldiers all over the place in the docks. They all have the same sort of, they're wearing a tabard with the same logo on it. But on the second tier of the city, that sort of intermediate tier between the upper level palaces and the lower docks, that area, every gate is closed. You can see burned out houses. You can see pyres rising up into the air. So the plague does seem to have reached the city, but it's been quarantined in that sort of middle tier of the city, which probably includes the majority of its population, but has not yet reached the docks.
Well, let's just not go there then.
I like that idea.
All right, good. I'm glad we're in agreement.
Simple idea. Not go to the place.
You guys start to approach the docks, and a ship comes out to greet you. It is a warship. It's honestly looking a bit worse for wear. This is probably built like 2 or 3 decades ago, still in operation, and the crew doesn't really seem to know how their ship works. Like, you see, while it's approaching you, a rope slips out of a guy's hand and then splats into the water, and one of the sails like crinkles up halfway really awkwardly, and the whole ship kind of slows down. These are not experienced sailors at all. And you see at the front of the ship is a person who looks really odd. Their head is shaved bald. They have tattoos of black ink all over their skin. They have painted green, like something, around their eyes. So they almost look like a paladin, or like they're trying to emulate one. And they have this tabard depicting a golden death mask. And once this ship is within shouting range, the person at the lead of the vessel will shout out, "Who are you?"
We're the Defiance, seeking harbor in Amiens.
You will allow yourself to undergo the ritual of purity before you enter the lands of Otto the Golden, the Blessed Saint.
Is that some kind of anti-plague measure?
No.
What is it?
He will begin to walk in the direction of the gangplank as his crew is trying to get their ship adjacent with yours, but they're getting kind of close to hitting your ship, and he continues to walk over to the gangplank, and he says, "It is a way that you will be able to enter his blessed realm. Our gods have descended to earth. The Jade Lady guides the hands of our 3 Grail Knights, and for you to even step on the same soil as them could defile that great and harmonious relationship.
Yeah, but what is it?
You will be blessed."
How?
In pain.
What?
With pain.
How bad?
Nothing.
You know what? Doesn't matter. We have to come here anyway. So be it.
You eventually kind of just take over and dock your ship to theirs. It's freaking you out how close they got to hitting your ship several times, like just by the wind knocking their ship into yours. You just don't want to deal with it, so you're just like, nope, stop. I'll throw the ropes out, and you moor the 2 of your ships together. And he walks across the gangplank, and this guy just visually, he looks like he's insane. Like his eyes, he has this weird look in his eyes. He has that like miscolored robes. This guy is an acolyte of a crazy looking religion. These Westerners, man, you thought they all worship the Jade Lady, but this guy's on some other shit.
I mean, this guy, he mentioned the Jade Lady.
He did do that, yeah.
Just a little different subsect.
Some weird, maybe some weird sect of the Jade Lady.
And he will demand that each of you flagellates yourselves. He will give you a...
What in God's green earth is that?
He will withdraw a whip.
Don't know that word.
He'll withdraw a whip from behind his back. Each of the barbs of the whip have these little hooks added to the end. You are expected, he'll demonstrate for you. He whips the whip over his back. The hooks dig into his skin, leaving these long, bloodied marks along his back. You can see, based on a number of scars visible, because the back of his robes are totally tattered and destroyed. He has done this many, many, many times, and then he hands the whip over to you.
Will those who are planning to stay aboard the ship and not step on the land itself be exempt from this purification process?
Yes, but if they ever step on land, they will be purified forcefully on the spot.
Oh. Alright, so, let's see. Unfortunately, all the player characters will do this. Unless, for some reason, Xander, you want to sit out for the whole rest of the campaign?
Nope, I'm coming out. No. No.
Alright, I just had to be sure.
It'll inflict 1d6
Marines...
damage plus your strength mod, and that's person by person, so...
Yeah, so...
That's not fair.
Yeah, it is fair.
I will ask for Snort, because I almost invariably would guarantee... Wait, is Zap dead yet?
No.
Or has he returned to his human form? Because Crab said
Luckily,
that was
not yet.
Probably.
Happens in front of this guy.
Alright, the surgeon is not coming, the Marines all are, Crab and Andre are, you are, but William
I feel like we should
isn't.
ask them if they are willing to flagellate themselves.
I mean, it doesn't matter if they don't have to. Like, none of the top men have to come, William doesn't have to come.
Well, how bad does he want that free trip to Amiens, though?
He's already
yes, I suppose, yes. Yeah, I'll do it. I imagine everyone else, all the player.
Well, we'll start with the player characters, and then we'll go with the rest of the crew. So let's get d6 plus strength mod from each of you.
My strength is 10,
strength
so
mod.
I just roll
Unios hits himself for
6.
3.
Oh, I got a 6. Let's go.
Ah!
Let's go, 2 damage. Strength mod is also
That
strength
BO.
is 10.
That's my strength mod. Is it +4?
Probably.
If you get,
Oh,
if you
God.
get 18
Oh, God.
higher, or 18, 19, it's +4.
You each do it, and after you finish it, you take your clothing off so you don't tear up your clothes, but your backs are left bloodied and severely in pain.
Wait, Alex.
Yeah.
This would, like, kill a commoner.
Yeah.
What?
They could. I mean, yeah,
So
they
no
can
one-
beat themselves hard enough
no
to kill
one
them.
comes to
It's
their
not
senses
guaranteed.
and just
It's
kill
not
them?
guaranteed to kill them.
Flagellation
There's a-
has a pretty high lethality rate.
It's not guaranteed at all. In
There's
fact,
a-
average, it wouldn't kill them. It just injure them heavily.
Oh, really?
Isn't there a 1? Because they have 4 hit points,
Yep.
right?
Well, no. Average 4. You can have more than 4 or less than 4, and then the average damage of this is 3, so you can do less or more.
Oh, I thought all commoners just have 4 health.
No, it's a roll.
Interesting. Okay. I see.
After you guys finish doing this, Philo will walk up to you, Svensson. The person here, whatever fucking title he has, will recover his whip as he can tell that Philo's initiating a conversation with you, and he'll sort of pull you to the side and say,
Yeah.
Captain Svensson, about, I mean, our expedition is done once we dock, right?
Yes, yes. You all will not be expected to do this, but
And
I mean,
what if
you
you
wanna
go
go
inland
ashore,
and you
you'll have-
die? We have permission to deal with shares on our own.
Yeah,
How long are we supposed to wait?
yeah. We're gonna do some information gathering here in the city.
Well, if we have to
before
wait a
we head
month, we
out.
might as well just pull off the band-aid now and get ourselves whipped.
Like I said, I'm gonna spend a day or two, probably just a day, doing some information gathering, and then I'll have an answer for you.
All right then.
Then from there we will be able to decide a time limit of when you should leave and distribute shells, I believe.
Then,
Yes, exactly.
okay, I'm gonna mark everyone who flagellated themselves, because it's very visible. I mean, it's kind of hard to not see it.
I mean, if you're wearing
Yeah,
clothes,
they'll just say, "Pull up your shirt. Let me see your shit."
A good point, I suppose.
Yeah, and they'll be like, "Hey, you didn't flagellate yourself. What's going on with that, buddy?" All right.
Can I look over the shore and do I see anyone getting forcefully flagellated?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it just like one, or do they forcefully?
Well, you see
flagellate
one
them
person
several
being
times?
forcefully flagellated. Outside of a bar, you can see a guy. It's like 10 a.m. or whatever. No, it's late in the evening, so it wouldn't be a bar. It'd be you can see a door open to a small shack along the shore and a bit of smoke billow out, and two men are forcefully grabbing a man between him. And they drag him over to someone dressed not dissimilar to the person on your ship, though a bit quirky still, like a bit bright colors and stuff like that. And then there's an altercation where the man that was dragged out of the smoking bar, he's pushed to the ground, and he is just repeatedly whipped over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
When they finish, does he look dead?
They drag his body away, so you're not sure.
Oh, okay. He's probably dead though, because you said over and over and over and over and over.
Many times, yeah.
A commoner may survive one, but I don't know about over and over and over.
Okay, all the flagellates have been marked, and the person who originally brought you to the city will nod and smile and say,
No crab.
no.
God, no.
They'll wait until you guys gather information.
Oh,
And
He's doing it. So.
this person will nod and say, well, welcome to the city of the blessed few, the ruling triumvirs. Amiens. I hope you enjoy your stay within the city.
Yes, thank you. About the plague, is it just in that bit of the city? And I'll point to the cordoned off area.
Oh, it is to be done very soon. The Inquisitors have been hard at work.
Well, who lived in that area before? Was it like a class division or just?
Profligates.
I'm not familiar with that word.
Enemies of the great saints. There is no other reason why they would have been stricken by such a disease.
Ah,
The
wasn't a merchant's district or a industrial district or anything before this?
He looks at you, looks over at Georg. Perhaps you should worry about the plague aboard your own vessel.
I'll look at Georg. He's visibly drunk, I
A little
imagine.
bit drunk, a little bit coughing. You know how it'd be. It's just Georg. The common Georg moment.
Yes. Anyway, thank you.
And he'll go back aboard his ship, and his crew, which probably just inherited this ship or killed the previous owners, will shittily like unmoor themselves to you and sail like back into the harbor. And you guys get there before them, despite having a bit more distance to travel because they just don't know how their boat works. And
I'll once the dude leaves, I'll lean over to Unios. I don't think we're gonna be selling the fire moss here.
That's yes.
Well, it's either we're not going to be selling it, or we're going to be selling it at an exorbitant rate. It's one of the two. We just need to be very careful about who we ask. Very, very careful.
This is a good point.
yeah, you guys dock. A harbor master, a more normal harbor master, comes out to greet you, and he just says like, "Hey, you're gonna owe me this amount of gold." Like, it's funny. Despite the city clearly having some sort of religious revolution, more things are the same than different. Like, this guy just needs you to pay your bills and live his normal life while these religious fanatics rule the city.
I'm gonna ask this guy about said religious fanatics.
Yeah, so he's up on the deck of your ship. He's looking over your cargo, not like what's inside of it, just the weightage, the tonnage, because that affects how much you pay your harbor fees. And he's just noting something down in his ledger as you guys are walking through the hold.
What's with all of the I'll lift up my shirt and point at my back. What happened with all that?
Oh, well, I mean, I had to keep myself far away from politics, but from what I heard, Clovis and 2 of the other Ground Knights betrayed Toussaint, and Otto the Golden saved us from near catastrophe.
Oh, and why is Otto the Gold? He's the one that implemented all of this
No, that would be his church.
religious. Oh, and it's just it's just holier to whip yourself.
I suppose so. I'm not much of a priest either. All the priests, all the Ground Knights, all the soldiers, all the, all those folks are out on the interior near La Monfel fighting a war. These are just the folks
All the soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
It's like mercenary companies included.
I guess so. I don't know. I've never really thought about it.
Oh, but there are no fighting men in the city.
I mean, there are some, sure, but they're the folks who couldn't get into the actual army.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, you've seen those folks that walk around wielding the little whips. If they could be actually serving Otto, they'd be out with his army. There's a reason why they're still here in the capital.
Oh, those folks.
And it's not just them. The City Watch, too. I mean, they're recruiting old men like me and young boys below the age of 16, 15. My son was even approached to join. He's only 12.
Oh. Did he?
No, of course not. My boy's going to be doing accounting ledgers, because when the revolution comes, no one kills the accountants.
God knows that is true. Huh.
He nods. He seems very proud of himself for that one.
I mean, no one purposefully kills the accountants, I suppose.
Agreed.
He may accidentally get murdered.
You don't talk about politics, you don't talk about religion, you do your accounts. It's a good guide to life.
I suppose no matter how fervent, you still need someone to keep track of your money.
Exactly. When those fanatics kicked down the door to my shop and they began to demand what business I'd done with the Clovians, I just showed them a ledger that went back 16 years. The fools couldn't even read the thing. They just assumed if I showed them the document, I must be in the right. Anyways,
Interesting.
harbor fees have been pushed up for the war effort, so it's going to be 2 Electrum a night.
That's fine.
I'm sure you've seen much worse.
Can we pay on a weekly basis?
Sure, that could work. It won't be prorated, though.
Alex, that means like better rate for paying per week?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. How much for a week?
14.
14 Electrum. Okay. Unios?
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
Right. Yeah. You hand him over 14 Electrum. He'll collect it, put a column, add a note to his column, and say, well, hope you enjoy the city.
May I ask?
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Is there anything else in the city that Easterners might be unused to, like the?
Oh yes.
things
Oh,
we
you're
did
Easterners.
on
Your
the
common's
road?
quite good. I thought all Easterners only spoke, the moon languages.
The moon languages?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
They do those in the little puppet shows. They say that you Easterners have language given to you by the moon goddess that you all worship, and you all speak her language.
Unios, you speak Mythos, right?
Yes.
Or, okay, yeah. In fact, I'll look over at him in Mythos. Do you think he means these languages?
I hope so, because we'd look interesting right now.
And then I'll switch. And then I'll switch to Delian because I know you speak that. Huh? They have weird stories over here. Very odd traditions.
Yes, they do. I'll say in Delian.
You mean stuff like that?
No,
And that
no.
was in
When
common
the
at the Harbor
bard
Master.
does it, it sounds a lot more like whistling, I suppose.
Oh, and I'll just look at Unios and like just whistle a bunch of random notes.
He says, "Oh,
I'll
you
do
know
it
that
back,
one.
yeah.
You know that one." That's good. So you worship that moon goddess, huh?
Do I look like a religious man to you?
Fair enough. Well, to answer your question, I mean, I don't know a bunch about where you're from. I'm sure you got your great castles and knights and all that stuff, your noblemen and such. But
Yeah, sure.
here in Toussaint, we're a bit different than the rest of the northern kingdoms. I mean, we got dukes and such, but at the high of everything is the Ground Knights. So if anyone says, bless Otto, you just say it right back to him. And if they start to say ill about the 3 Ground Knights, you never join in. You're not talking to some free thinker. You're talking to a undercover inquisitor. 9 times out of 10. Oh,
All right,
also,
I
if you
don't
see a
have to,
fellow
like-
with empty eye sockets and big sort of painted, tattooed lines on his head, just avoid him at all costs.
Empty eye sockets?
Oh yeah, empty eye sockets. Sometimes they glow, but most of the time they're just empty.
What is he?
Those are the Grand Inquisitors.
Oh, there's a few of them?
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen one in my whole life, but yeah, there's a couple.
What do they do?
They inquisit. I don't know, they do what all Inquisitors do, they just do it more aggressively. They removed their eyes, at least that's what the stories say, when they became paladins.
Oh, alright. There's no weird things like we have to prostrate ourselves before one of these Grail Knights if we see them or
You're
anything
not going
like
to
that?
see them. They're all out in the interior. But I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know all the etiquette and such. I just when one of those bald folks with the painted on green says something to me, I just do the thing.
The Hail Auto?
Well, they'll say that, but they
What
also
is it?
may say that you need to go wash your wounds in water to be properly purified. They may say that today we're all going to wax our eyebrows in a show of faith to Otto the Golden. You do whatever they say.
Ah, you do the random. Okay, alright, that makes sense.
There's also a
Helios
couple
is
people.
gonna kind of like touch his eyebrows.
There's also some people in the city who worship, who are loyal to the other two Grand Knights, but they're a lot more reasonable. It's really the Ottonians that are gonna, make those sorts of requests.
Oh, you can worship any of the Grail Knights?
Well, again, I don't know the theology of it, but from my perspective, I think Otto's the way to go. I mean, you get tax breaks for doing that.
You do?
Oh yes, I pay 3% less a year, because my son goes to their church every weekend.
Oh, that does seem to be the way to go. Alright, thank you very much.
Can you tell who worships who by their tattoos or what have you?
No. In fact, no one even got tattoos until just, when the revolution started. Before that, it just wasn't noticeable at all. I think they're trying to invent some traditions, but I don't recognize them yet.
Maybe your son will.
Maybe.
Oh, well.
Well, good luck in the city. And he'll exit your ship.
Alrighty then.
And we made it. Amiens.
Yeah, it only took 80% of our crew.
And 17 sessions. But we're
You
here,
thought,
guys.
what, this whole thing was gonna take 10, right?
Which, minus the Galadrim detour, it's almost perfect.
Well, yes. Unfortunate.
So,
Well,
TPK and
it's
Brilliant.
real.
Disaster of the trip this week.
it sounds like we sort of kind of know where they are, which is not here on the interior. I suppose we can get more details. But that's scary, because I feel like we say the wrong thing to the wrong person.
yeah, they're having a religious revolution right now. So you can say what is the right thing, and then a week later, now it's the wrong thing.
Yeah, I feel like you walk into a bar. Hey, anyone have any idea where like Otto the Golden's army is? Spy,
Yes, foreign spy. Or you say, like, I
rip
want to
his
go join
eyeballs
up.
out and replace them with replace them with his testicles.
Yeah, and
or
you say that
something.
you want to join up, and they're like, no, that's traitorous. You have to remain in the city. Yeah, I mean, you just have to know the person you're talking to, because if you're talking to one of those schizos, it's Jover. Notably,
That's
you haven't seen
unfair.
any other force of like law enforcement in the city, so it really does just seem like the fucking inmates are running the asylum here.
That ain't good.
Like, even Otto isn't here, which leaves the question of like, who the fuck's ruling this city?
Who is rolling this city?
That's a good question.
Well, now that we're here, I suppose I'm gonna very heavily. No one is allowed to go ashore without express permission or reason. The Marines are instructed that no one is to leave.
Okay. Yeah, it is late in the evening, and it is currently the 31st. So tomorrow there will be tonight there will be a full moon. But luckily, you have a solution to that.
Yeah,
Full
let's
moon and the religious revolution.
let's stay on the ship, deal with those consequences tonight, and see if let's start this whole thing.
So when
tomorrow.
evening falls, you have someone. Actually, no, you have rations on your ship. So you guys all sit on the top deck of the ship and eat your food, and everyone just looks out towards the city because shit's weird here, man. Like, when evening falls, a parade starts. And you see people running by with torches and fluttering banners, and you can't quite tell what holiday it is at first. And then you see at this sort of cluster of this parade of, you know, a couple hundred people, you see more of those people with, like, the shaved heads and the weird tattoos and the green painted eyes. And between all of them is a middle-aged woman. She has also had her head shaved. And then they bring her over to the water, and you're like, oh, I wonder what this festival is about. And then they drown her. All six of the green painted eye people take part in drowning her. And afterwards, the crowd cheers, and they all just sort of wander off into a different part of the city to continue their celebrations, leaving the woman's corpse floating in the harbor.
Is it Hollow's Day or whatever it was?
Maybe. You don't think that's not really a holiday in Valoros as much. There are some areas that do celebrate it, but as far as you know, Western Valoros doesn't particularly celebrate it.
I'm gonna creep on over to the harbor master office.
Okay. You descend from the deck of the Defiance as everyone's eating their dinner. You walk over to the harbor master's office. It is closed up. The moment nightfall hit, he locked that shit up and left.
Yeah, I don't blame him. This place is terrifying. I'm gonna skulk back to the ship.
As you're walking back to the ship, you hear a voice from behind you. Hey, you!
Oh, God. Oh! Whoa, sorry.
You turn around, you see a man in his mid-20s. He has on some leather armor, and as he looks to have a pretty obviously concealed dagger at his waist. Obvious in the sense that you can see it, but it is, like, slightly concealed. And he says, hey, you're the ship that just docked, right?
What of it?
You're from the city-state?
Why?
You're Captain Svensson, right?
Uh-oh. Who are you? Wait, is it this guy that is it the guy that abandoned the ship at the
No, it
at
is
the very
not Samuel
beginning?
Ash.
Oh. Yeah,
He
Samuel
nods
Ash, that's
slowly
it.
and says, oh,
Why?
I was just checking. And he scampers away.
Who are you?
He scampers away.
Motherfucker. I'll chase after him.
Okay, you begin to charge after him down the pier. He is a rogue, so he's moving double your speed as he sprints forward. Make me a perception check.
All right.
Excuse me.
Perception. All right. A 5.
Yeah, you start to sprint after him, and he's leading you to an alleyway between two portside bars.
Oh, that's a bad idea. I'm not gonna go down said alleyway.
Yeah, you stop chasing, you return to the Defiance, but
Ooh,
now...
wait, can I? No. Before I do that, can I go to the other side of one of the bars and scale it?
Yeah, sure, yeah. You head to one of the other side of the bar and roll me an acrobatics check.
All right. I have a +7.
Yeah, you ascend
Okay, 23.
ascend the sort of poking out stone wall up onto the thing. You know, on your belly, crawl over to the part of the roof overlooking that alleyway. You look inside, and you see the person who spoke to you is taking a couple deep breaths because he just sprinted like a lot, like 100 meters. And in the alleyway, you see 6 people, one of which is a familiar face. You see Samuel Ash. You see a Trollkin. They're only from the city-state, so clearly these people are from the city-state. And there are 4 other people that were camped down this alleyway, and they were going to murder you, 100%.
Okay, I'm gonna fuck off and go back to the ship.
Roll a stealth
We
check.
should kill him.
I'm back. Did I just hear Samuel Ash?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I found him
I
again.
will say, I think you can overhear
I'm
them
back.
talking as you're on this ledge, so roll a stealth check. But what you hear them saying is Samuel Ash says, you fucking idiot. Why didn't you just say you wanted to talk with him? You could have said you're from Lord Rosshill. We went over this 1,000 times. And
Let's go,
you
23!
crawl back the way you came. You descend down the chute, and then you just sprint full speed back to the Defiance. And everyone else, you're on the deck of the Defiance eating dinner, sipping on a keg of red wine. And Adrian, just like out of breath, sprints onto the deck of the Defiance.
Captain, what's wrong?
Samuel, Ash, he's here. I don't know how the fuck he got here, but he's here. Motherfucker tried to kill me. Him and a fucking Trollkin, a bunch of other goobers. Motherfuckers.
Tried to kill you?
They were going to. I was too smart for them. Had one guy. I was coming back from the harbor master, and he came up to me. Was like, "Hey, you. Are you from the city-state?" I was like, "What of it?" He was like, "Are you Captain Svensson?" And then I asked him what of it again, and he fucking took off. I followed him, I figured out he was trying to lead me down an alleyway. So I stopped chasing him. I climbed up one of the buildings and peered down into the alleyway. And then motherfucker, Samuel Ash, was down there talking to a trollkin. Seemed very pissed that the guy had not gotten me in there. I'm pretty sure they were trying to kill me. And then I fucked up. Because there were like 6 of them down there. So Samuel Ash is here. That's something we're gonna have to deal with.
Why is he here, though?
Probably evidently to kill me. Evidently to kill me.
It's probably
He's here to
mad
kill
he
you.
left.
Why would he come all the way just... That doesn't seem like a grudge thing. It seems like someone sent him.
Well, he only had 6 dudes.
Thinking on Samuel Ash, your eyes are starting to scan the harbor now, and I will say, since it's a pretty normal-looking ship, so there wouldn't be a reason to notice it before, but you do notice a ship with the label "The Silver Siren" is currently docked in the harbor of Amiens. Which is
Does that mean something?
Yeah, it's the ship that he originally tried to steal in session 1.
Wait.
Oh wait.
What the fuck is that thing? Hey, that's the Silver Siren.
You guys all follow his gaze, and you see in the distance a ship with like a ballista on the front. There's no one on the deck. It's completely dead, but it is docked in the harbor, like 2 piers down from you.
That's the Silver Siren. That's the one he tried to rob.
Oh.
Fucking odds, man.
My guess is that's how we got here.
Maybe they
Motherfucker.
Turn that around.
took him on as a crewmate.
God knows how. Alex, did I recognize any of the dudes down in that alleyway as the other conspirators?
No, you did not see any of them. You're like 99% sure those guys are dead because you saw them die in the deck of the Silver Siren.
Oh, okay.
But
All
the
right, yeah.
Trollkin does seem familiar because it's all starting to come back. After you see the ship and you hear that, it all starts to come together. You're like, wait a minute. He mentioned the 5 officers of the Silver Siren, and I remember him saying the Master Sergeant was a Trollkin. This motherfucker is here with like several officers of the Silver Siren sitting in that alleyway waiting for you.
Those were the officers of the Silver Siren. The motherfucker joined up with them somehow.
Maybe he was planning to betray us from the beginning.
Maybe. I mean, why would he have still conducted the attack then? I mean, the attack on the Silver Siren back before we left.
Oh, yes.
What the fuck is going on here? Alright, well. New problem to deal with. We should deal with this before we go on to other things.
I have a proposal that might be risky, might help us.
Alright.
We report them up to the Inquisition.
Actually, kind of great.
Ooh! What if we get the fire moss onto their ship, and then we report them to the Inquisition for that? Like, we got a tip that they have fire moss on their ship. That seems like they would get them. That would get them fucked, right?
That's if we could get it onto our ship, their ship.
I'll look over at the ship, Alex.
Yeah.
It's fucking empty,
No
right?
one's on the top deck. There's no light inside.
I don't think there's even anyone there. Wait, that might not help us then. I mean, there seems to be no one there at the moment.
Yes, they probably know that you're. They know that you. Did they know that you saw them? No.
No, the guy knows that I didn't follow him into the alleyway, but Samuel Ash does not know that I saw him. All he thinks I know is that I think someone is trying to kill me now. He doesn't know it's him. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right.
But that's logic. I don't think Samuel Ash even knows that you know that he's trying to kill you.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh. But this is getting already confusing. Alright, it's simple.
Yeah. He didn't see me. He never set eyes upon me. Georg. I'll look around. Oh boy, there you are. Can you sneak the fire moss onto the boat?
how patrolled is this harbor?
By actual soldiers, none, but those religious fanatics come at completely odd hours. Like, they'll host little, like, apparently drowning ceremonies, and then they'll just be, like, sitting in front of bars shaming people that are inside. Right now, you can see two guys pressed up against the window of one of the portside bars saying, "Evil! Evil! Be righteous! Leave!"
Incredibly based.
Do we even know if if Firemos is actually against the religion?
I mean, look, they're shaming people drinking. Do you? I suppose I'm just making an educated guess here, but
Maybe we should.
I mean,
check if
realistically, come on,
Firemos-
I'm
come
sure
on,
that
Chevron. Like,
intent to distribute must be.
I mean, I'm
That is probably
like,
yeah.
come on, like,
I mean, I've seen the religious practices that use drugs in a manner of ways.
sure. Jade Lady worshippers never took me as those sort of religious, individuals.
Well, I thought I knew Jade Lady until I thought
Based.
Well, I always thought they were like, they were really orthodox and serious about like not having any fun when it comes to religion, right? Even before all of this nonsense, they just took it to the extreme. But I always knew they were just soul sucking, party poopers.
All right.
I mean, besides, what's the worst that happened? Oh, who gives a fuck if they have fire moss on there?
Well, then you've just given Sammy Lash a good time.
I mean, I guess.
And
But
a decent amount of our profit.
Eric's, I want to check if there's anyone like around our ship listening to
Yeah,
us.
so luckily for you, if they're on land, the only way to approach your ship is via the pier. And there's only one other ship on this pier, which is a fishing ship, so you're not particularly worried about, like, someone being on a nearby boat, like, crouched listening to you. So as far as you can tell, roll a perception check, actually, because there are crates on the pier that they could be hiding behind. They could also be, like, clinging to the edge of your ship doing some crazy shit. So let's just get a perception check. Yeah, you don't think anyone's listening to you.
why do you say it like that?
I was just saying.
Well, Samuel Ash has snuck onto ships before.
He does have a very high
This is
self-modifier.
Samuel
It's true.
Ash's
He
voice.
is known as a sneaky
Yeah,
guy.
and he does know the exact layout of the Defiance.
Oh, it's so.
Yes, surely.
Hear me out. We invite him to join back.
After abandoning him in the
Dude, incredibly based. Holy shit. and then we kill him, right?
Yeah.
Oh, had to be sure.
Here's the thing. I think they're probably gonna make an attack on our ship anyways, because that's what he already proposed with those guys.
Did he? Wasn't he just berating them because the guy fucked up and didn't actually get me to run into the alley?
I mean, back in session 1, his plan was sneak on their ship in the middle of the night, murk them, and then take their stuff.
Oh fuck! If he does that to us too, that's.
Yeah, but didn't he want a bunch of us to do that and not like 6?
Yeah,
I'm
I don't.
pretty
he
sure it was, like,
joined the crew with
exactly
just
six.
him and 2 other people though, so. I don't know.
He could have been trying to hostage you to take someone.
Maybe. No, Alex, you said it was very obvious they were there to gank me.
Like, they were all pressed up against the walls on either side of the alleyway, weapons ready. Like Looney Tunes style, you run into the alleyway, 17 axes slam into your fucking, or 6 axes slam into your chest, you fucking die.
Okay.
Like, I'm just gonna tell you now,
they
if
were-
you had entered the alleyway, this would be a lot more awkward conversation because you'd be dead. Like, it wouldn't be, like, you'd just be dead. There's no shot you survive 6 attacks. All from advantage. Cause
Yeah,
they're
they
stealth.
were. They were waiting there to gank me.
Also, Samuel Ash is a rogue, so he would have had sneak attack as well.
Oh yeah, that would have been horrible. Hey, maybe they all would have missed.
Clueless. Ain't no way, bro.
I have a what's my AC? I have a 14 AC. It's possible.
man, I'm sure you'd be fine.
It's possible, I swear. Yeah. So, I say we go with the Fire Moss Gambit at first. Although if no one's on the ship, I suppose that. Oh, then they don't have a ship. There's that.
I think at this point, Crab has been kind of quiet throughout this whole conversation, just sort of listening to it, and he'll speak up and say, "Don't you think it's awfully convenient?
Yeah.
Samuel Ash knows this. He's not stupid. Despite all of his braggadociousness, he was with our crew for a very long time. Do you think he's stupid enough to leave his ship unguarded in the middle of the night?
Debate.
I don't know. It just seems impossible that he would do something like that.
I mean, he doesn't know that I know or that any of us know that he's here.
He knows we're in the city. He knows that you didn't fall for the bait. If there was at least 4 people on the ship, a standard night watch, that's a different conversation. The fact that there's nobody, I don't know.
Huh. That's...
Like, where's their captain? Where's their marines? Where's their night watch? Where's their top men?
Maybe they all got hung like our crew.
Maybe.
That
I mean,
was an attempted joke, but alright.
most of our crew got... Oh, that's fair. Huh. Well...
I think Vezio's right, though.
Alright,
They would not come here for revenge. Samuel Ash is a man who wished to make as much money in his life as humanly as possible. And there's no profit in revenge, unless there is. And there's another reason why they're here in the city.
Alright.
I have an easy solution to all of this, but would have to leave the city right after doing it.
My guess, you fireball their ship.
Yes.
I'm saying no, but it's simply because we need to be in the city for more time.
Fair enough.
That's the only reason. We can, I'll be all too happy to do that once we leave, I suppose.
Nods.
Well,
From now on, then, I don't think anyone should travel in the city alone.
I
They'll be
agree.
looking for us to ambush it.
I agree. I'd like to take you and Crab at the very least. Crab, that does mean you're gonna have to fumigate yourself or whatever the hell they called it.
The Northerners would not be accepting of me casting magic in public, even in self-defense.
I don't think we don't need to bring Crab. I mean, if we get ambushed, among all of us, he'll be the first target.
This is true.
Yes,
I'm also
cast
not a
spells,
registered
it's a big
spellcaster, so even in victory, I die.
That's a good point. Alright, you're fine then, I suppose. Yeah, just no one's supposed to leave anyway, so it doesn't matter. Don't leave. Cool. That was easy.
Should double
Anyway.
So
Yeah.
do we have a plan to be proactive, or are we just going to wait until the next attempt?
I'd like to be proactive, I'm just not sure how. If we're not going to do this whole fire moss on their ship scheme. I mean, just walk around in force. Just incentivize them to attack us, you know, don't go down any random alleyways. The advantage of surprise is gone, so I feel like that was their main advantage here.
Those, that group in that alleyway, so how strong do you think they were? Were they wearing good equipment? Were they...
So the people that you saw
Alex-
were Samuel Ash. He looks about the same as when he was in the city. No changes there, just
Yep.
leather armor. Then we have
Yep.
the Trollkin, who is in full plate armor with a glaive, like a two-handed glaive. Then there
So
was
a Vezio, basically.
yeah, Vezio. Then they have a guy in leather armor who had a massive crossbow with a bayonet on the end of it.
One might say a heavy crossbow?
Yeah. Then they had a dwarf who was wearing no armor and was shirtless and was holding a axe. He looked drunk.
Barbarian.
Classic.
Then they had a young man, like clean-shaven face, with a book in his hands, and then there was 2 men wearing breastplates with long swords.
Okay, yeah, so I would have gotten, like, stabbed, shot, beheaded, and firebolted all at once the moment I ran into that alleyway.
At advantage with sneak attack, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, and stabbed by Samuel, yes. Well, it
Or
looked
maybe
like
they just
they
wanted
had
to
a...
talk.
Yes, surely. Well, it was Sam, a trollkin in plate, this shirtless dwarf with an axe who looked drunk, these 2 dudes in, you said mail, Alex?
Breastplate.
Or in breastplates with swords, and then this guy with just a book. I mean, they can't attack us. They can't attack us in broad daylight. Just can't do that.
Notably,
Based on how this city is going.
I mean, there's no law here really, except the Inquisitors. If they pull you away to an alleyway, that will become.
I mean, yeah, but I'll just go around with people, so they can't do that.
I still
And you
think
know,
I'd like to propose that we're overthinking with the fire mass. Just tell those religious crazies that they're demon
Oh.
worshippers of some kind.
we don't even have to get the fire moss on there. We'll just tell them that it's there.
Yes, just tell them that they're some kind of.
Knowing
worshipper
Samuel
of
Ash, if they
Ahoy.
board his ship, they'll find something.
that's so based. Holy.
I have an idea
so
that
funny.
still involves the fire moss. I want to get rid of it. I don't want it on the ship anymore, because the moment this kicks off, there's like a 50-50 chance they decide to search our ship just for the hell of it. What if we just float it out into the harbor and just tie it to their ship?
Why
Like,
tie
he
it to
doesn't.
the ship? Why not to just float it out into the harbor?
Well, we want it near their ship. I suppose we could tie it to a pier near their ship.
Crab, do you have some sort of float spell?
He shakes his head.
Oh, I mean, it's a bale of grass. It'll float.
I mean,
It'll get ruined, obviously, but no one's. I don't think they will care, and no one's going to be smoking.
It won't sink for a little bit, but it is just wrapped in paper, so eventually it will start sinking.
I mean, isn't it just a tightly bound?
Yeah, it's just
grass?
a 20-pound bale of paper wrapped around, tobacco leaf, basically.
So it should just float.
Well, but then it'll get wet,
should
and
just
then
be
it's just
buoyant.
soggy, and so it'll sink.
I mean,
leaves not
I feel like
float?
the paper. I feel like wet. I feel like a bunch of densely packed
so
wet leaf
how's-
would sink, right?
how's this, Alex? There are these the people in Peru who live on islands literally built of grass.
I'm familiar.
So,
Yeah. I feel like that's a special
I've
type of
stood
grass,
on it,
right?
so it's just like a reed.
That feels different.
It-
We
I
can look
mean,
it up. Can a
plant.
bundle of wet leaves float? All right, someone pull up a bath. Pull up a bath. I know that obviously leaves can, but I feel like
Oh, up a bat.
for me it's the density
Already,
that does
when they're
it.
like-
Yeah, it's the density.
If
in my head.
if one soaked leaf will float, shouldn't every
Wait,
soaked
I just
leaf
realized when you
float?
crumple up
Depends on the
paper,
type of the
when you
leaf.
get a crumpled up ball of paper and you throw that in water, it does get wet, but it floats for a while before it starts to fall apart. So it'd probably just work like that.
So even wet paper, no matter how wet it gets,
No, but
it
it'll
won't
dissolve.
fall
Yeah, it
apart
just
unless
dissolves.
it won't fall apart unless you do
Yeah,
something
but there's a
to it.
tide.
Like if you touch it,
Yeah,
it'll
there's
fall
a tide.
apart.
The shit would be getting thrown around. I think
Well,
it'll
no,
last for
that's-
like a little bit, a couple hours.
A couple hours,
Yeah.
so we just have to be careful. Like do this right near dawn and then call.
Yeah, there you go. That's fine.
But I mean,
Well,
just like
what does
Crab
everyone
or
think?
Snort or whatever have like a spell that they could just float it like through the air over there.
I mean, can we just put?
I can shape
I
water.
see what you mean. I see
So
what
we
you
don't
mean.
have to like
I
leave
got
the
shape
ship.
water.
No,
Crab
neither
or,
of them have spells like that.
Snort has something.
He doesn't have
Snort
a
can
fly
shape
spell
water.
or something. That's not.
Can't we just
Everyone
put it
knows
on? Can't we just put it on some planks so the planks float and then the grass only gets a little wet?
Yeah, sure. At this point, you're just
Does the
making a
tide of-
raft though, and you're rafting something in full view of like the open harbor. So
We're getting
Yeah,
increasingly
but it's
wacky here.
dark.
Yarrow, bring him back to Earth.
There's a pier near us, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I imagine there's a pier that runs the entire length of the harbor, even if it doesn't stick out into the water. It's just like attached to the shore.
Yeah, I don't think that's called a pier, but yes, there is
So
one
what-
of those.
Yeah, so one could swim under the pier for the whole length there and basically be invisible.
I would not say basically invisible, but yes, you could swim there.
Well, I
Here's
mean,
a
just
pro-
based on angles.
Here's a proposition. Just tell the Inquisitors they tried to kill you. I'm sure murder's illegal.
Well, yeah, but then we need evidence.
Do you?
I don't think they do. I feel like these kind of people don't need evidence.
Yeah, they're probably just waiting to go fuck some shit up.
Yeah,
probably
they
don't.
just
something
drowned the lady
slightly
for what I
heretical
assume
sounds
was like.
something to kill.
I mean, we don't even need to be like slightly heretical. Like, I'm sure during the Cultural Revolution, they weren't like, I'm gonna need your body of evidence before this struggle session. I think they just did it.
We have the marks of flagellation on our bodies. We are.
I'm
solely
sure.
red
I'm sure.
predators.
I'm sure
Hey,
they do
Samuel
too.
Ash. Samuel
Wait,
Ash
wait.
is
Okay.
painting
No,
the
wait. They
soil.
can't because there's no shot a trollkin got into this city without them like losing their mind.
Well, you said the dwarf had no shirt, right? Did he have flagellant marks?
Yes, he had many scars on his body, multiple signs of multiple flagellations.
Okay, but dwarfs are
Okay,
different.
so
They're kind of
he-
crazy.
He could have just been crazy and weird and a dwarf, right? They do weird things. I'm not sure what their rituals are.
I think the bet is that he's gotten flagellated many times because he is not a particularly pious fellow.
That's
He was also drunk in that alleyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. We literally just saw a drunk guy get flagellated.
that's far more likely. Well, it does us no good if the dudes storm the boat when Samuel isn't there. So,
Well,
we
right
gotta
now,
wait
no one's
anyway,
there.
right?
Allegedly.
Why don't we pay a bribe
wanna
to the
just-
harbor master and find out some info about
You don't even need to bribe him. That's just public information.
Again, that still has to wait till tomorrow.
True.
But bribery is fun.
Also
I
true.
just want to be like, hey, religious folk, these guys are tainting this soil. You should kill them.
They'll just flagellate them if we say that.
That's
probably.
true.
Yep. I still say we float the fire moss under there.
I mean, it can be done. What you're saying makes sense. You put them on two boards. You have someone swim who's a good swimmer, probably like Snort or someone similar. You have them swim underneath the pier, up to the shore, underneath that pier, then into the pier that the Silver Siren is, tie it to their ship, leave.
And Snort, worst comes to worst, Snort can just like go down, can't he? Because he has the whole shape water
Yeah, it's
thing.
not
and he can
forever.
just-
He will eventually suffocate, but yeah, he can go down.
Oh yeah, he would go down, come back to the ship. They would have no fucking idea where he went. He would pop up over the ship where they are not, and bam bada boomy, problem solved.
Yeah. And Ben didn't show up today, so it's his fault anyway.
Also true. Yeah, he just suffocates underwater, rip Snort.
Poor guy. Okay, yeah. I suppose we'll do that a bit closer to. Wait, the thing will float for a real long time.
Yeah, it's on wood. Yeah,
right?
if it's on wood, it'll float for ages.
What?
Okay.
Why are we putting it? Why are we putting it on wood?
So it won't sink after 2 hours, and we can do it now.
But I mean, like, what's the explanation for like, oh, why'd these guys put fire moss on wood?
Underneath
They
the
didn't
pier.
want it on their boat in case it got searched. They were hiding it down there. You think these dudes are gonna think about it that much?
If that's the case, why not just like say, oh, they tried to murder me, and also they're heretics?
Well, because then I can be like, oh, also I think they have fire moss down there, and then they'll look under there. They'll be like, oh fuck, you're right. There's fire moss down there. All the other shit you probably said is most definitely true, and then it just adds a bunch of credibility to our story.
Just toss it on the top deck. Just fucking like from the shore.
Oh, that's very noticeable.
That would
especially
require us
if
to get close.
yeah, especially if their whole crew is waiting there in ambush.
Hear me out. I disguise self, turn into someone
God.
else,
Oh god.
toss the fire moss on. By the time they notice, I'm out and undisguised.
How is this better than the other plan?
He's disguised.
It's on. I don't know. It's not weirdly floating on a plank of wood in the middle of nowhere.
What do you mean, middle of nowhere?
Hear me
It's
out.
on the water.
Again, these guys are not going to think about it that much. Hey, bro, they hid the fire moss under the pier, so if you'll search the ship, they wouldn't look for it. Oh, that sounds good. Okay. Murder.
Hear me out. We go on their ship,
Dear
announce
God.
we have a bomb.
Anyway, I send Snort into the docks.
You send Snort out?
Yes, Snort goes out with the bundle.
Okay. Oh god.
Thank you, Xander.
Okay, yeah, you get rid of your 20 pounds of fire moss. You place it onto 2 spare boards. So technically a little bit of carpentry supplies, but not enough that will remove one. And then Snort can just kind of do it. Make me a stealth check for Snort. I'll go find
What's
his
the
one.
I think just
I'm just gonna roll a d20 and we can add on to it. A
Yeah.
10. Oh, that's not bad.
That's an 11. Okay, you do that.
Right.
That is
Snort
well.
pops back up on the ship about an hour later.
Ah, sick. Good job, Snort. I'm proud of you.
Hello.
Wow.
So I got
Okay.
it, and I tied the rope there, and it's all good.
All right, and now we wait till morning, or actually, yeah, now we'll wait till morning.
Do you get a lot of sleep that evening, Adrian?
Do we have a night watch?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Extra night watch. Night watch. I bet.
I sleep peacefully, knowing I'm on a boat and he can't really get here very easily because he's good, but he's not fucking Aeolian with the black cowl good. So
Yeah, he just has expertise, not like a magical item to enhance his stealth.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Doesn't
That
matter how
sounds
good you are.
like he
There are
has
some
a
things.
magical item.
Hey,
There are some
Rudel-
things that are physically impossible
That's true.
Hey,
without
Rudel
magic.
Rudel did it, and he had like a +1 to stealth.
That is
I
true.
think.
Yeah. All he had was the invisibility spell. Well,
Yeah, if he gets in here, he deserves it. Okay.
at around
That's
2 in the morning,
understandable, that one.
That's the same mentality he has.
at around 2 in the morning, Unios, you are on night watch with Crab. One of the Marine is up here with you. And Crab is just sort of pacing along the deck. He's been moving constantly since night watch started. Then he squints at something. And he looks at you, Unios. Come over here.
I'll go over.
He points, and your ship is docked at a pier. And there's an angle where you're up on where the helm is, where you can look underneath the pier that your ship is docked against. And you can see that tied to your ship is 2 planks, and sitting on it is about a 20-pound bale of fire moss.
Motherfucker.
I'm gonna like sigh and look stressed out.
He looks at that.
Motherfucker.
What should we do with
this
it?
isn't good.
Do we wake up the creature again and have him put it back on their ship? Hot potato until morning?
We could do that. We could destroy it.
We could destroy it. He just sort of like flicks his finger like a lighter and a little flame appears.
A potato until morning.
I doubt hot potato will be productive. So.
Well, I will go wake the captain. And Adrian, you hear the door to your room open and you instantly bolt awake. And
I bolt awake. I point the crossbow I had right next to me directly at the door. Who is it?
Captain,
Oh, it's just you. Yeah.
they put the bell
You're not
on
here
our
to kill
ship.
me, are you? They help me to huh?
They put the bell on our ship.
I
did not
it's a
hear
game
them
of
put
hot
it there.
potato. It's a game of hot potato, then, is it?
That is what I told the quartermaster. He thought it was unwise.
It is unwise. Snort's not the stealthiest individual.
So, what do we do?
Alright, let's sink it then.
I can do that.
Because I imagine, don't burn it. That is terrible. But just make sure it sinks.
Hold on. And he'll close the door.
Oh, just disperse it a little bit too. Don't let it sink as a full bale.
He'll head over there, and Unios, you can see him go down to like the bathroom, reach out that bathroom window, and grab the rope because it's pretty close to that one. He pulls in the fire moss bale. He walks back up to the top deck where you are. He sort of positions himself in a similar spot to where the cannon is, and then he casts catapult, and you watch as the fire moss bale flies 300 feet away from your ship out into the harbor, and then splashes the water in, underneath the surface.
Why couldn't he have just done that towards their ship at least?
That's why I brought up the float spell. I'm gonna say that seemed like the kind of spell I was asking about earlier.
It's not very accurate, and I can't make it go a certain distance. It simply goes as far as it does. Plus, I had to upcast that so that it was able to handle 20 pounds.
All right. Well, so as good as it will get.
Did you hear anything?
No.
Neither
Well,
did I.
Eric's, I assume.
No, you didn't hear shit. He does not like that, and he will continue to pace along the top deck of the Defiance until early morning comes.
I don't like it either.
And that morning, you guys all wake up, make your way to the deck of the Defiance. What now?
Panic.
Oh, and last night, Andre was stuck inside of a coffin and was violently fighting against it for several hours, but...
we should have put him on there. Damn it.
Yeah, so Andre's
Let
injured.
him loose in the city.
Yeah, so Andre's fucked up, but he's alive.
Oh, our best fighter is fucked up right before a fight.
He's at 1 HP.
Uranium fever.
Welcome back, Ethan.
What I miss?
Nothing. It's the
I have
following...
1 HP.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's the following morning, you're all on the deck of the Defiance.
What is...
Andre,
Okay, yeah.
werewolf.
Oh, all right. Yep, that makes sense. Yep, makes sense why he's at 1 HP. Okay. Does it seem like a crowd of religious fanatics is marching to our ship?
No.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Should we go and report them for peeing on Otto the Golden's toe or something? Jackson Sander.
Out of the golden stone.
Yeah, you know. Or
Not
something.
only does this
something-
this random man. Hey,
Something
guys,
equally heretical.
Not only is random man seeing a Grail Knight, which is not present. They're out, or they're like not present here, anywhere here, but he is pissed on his foot.
yeah. You know. Okay, I'll go wander down with an entourage to the harbor master. By entourage, I mean Unios and who else is good at fighting?
Georg, Shevon, Vezio.
Can I get
I
a
did.
short rest?
I did say
to get-
Unios, didn't I?
You got a short rest last night. That counts.
I can use that die.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can just go up to full health. And,
Oh, you.
there we go. I don't even have to.
Dude, that's crazy.
Oh my god.
That's actually so crazy.
We're short resting right
Yeah.
second.
I'm killing
Yeah, you
myself.
can.
IRL. I'm gonna do
Dude,
it.
that's crazy.
That's insane. That is insane. No, he got it. Oh, he got a 1. Okay.
And
Fine.
2 zeros in a row. That's insane.
Alright, just like be a fighter, nerd, and then you don't have to do that because you'll just have second wind.
Why do that when I could be a rogue with 18 HP?
And get 2 zeros in a row on your hit die, so you burn 3 hit die, getting 5 hit points back.
You get it.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, sorry, I just had to double check. Anyway, I'll march on down there with Vezio and Georg
So just the
to
two
the
of them?
harbor master's office. Yeah, that's fine.
The 3 of you walk over to the harbor master's office. It's bright and early, but the guy's there. He probably got there a little bit before opening. He's currently sipping on what looks to be some tea.
Hello there.
Good morning.
I got a question. That ship right there, I'll point to the Silver Sparrow, whatever the hell it's called.
Sure.
Yeah, point to it. When did that ship get in?
He looks at the shipping, his manifest book. The ship's name, the Silver Siren. It arrived a month and a half ago. Port of origin, the city state of the Invincible Overlord.
And, how many people were on it, roughly? Was it like a full crew?
That's not included here. I can tell you about what cargo they reported in terms of tonnage, but...
I mean, you went on the ship, didn't you?
Sure, but I can't share that information.
Yeah, that's fair. You can't, can you?
Nope.
I'll, slide a gold across the table.
Apropos our previous conversation, it's good to keep your head down when you're an accountant. Makes you less enemies. So I'm going to keep my head down on this one. And you'll slide your gold back.
Respect. I respect that. Yeah, that's fair. Well, yeah, what about their cargo?
Well, they
For
reported having
shits and giggles, I
5
suppose.
tons of cargo. So, not a merchant ship.
I'll look at the ship. Yes, that's apparent. Alright, month and a half ago, you say?
Yep.
How have they been paying? Been paying weekly
They
or
paid
monthly?
for
or...
2 months in advance.
Ooh. Interesting. Okay. See. Alright. If I were to report a crime of some kind, who would I go reporting that to? The bald-headed nerds?
He sighs pretty heavily. Well, I mean, if it's a real crime, you could report it to one of the magistrates. There's not many left here in the docks, though. Only 3 last I heard of. But if it's
No, I want some, someone who won't take it too seriously and will just bonk bonk, if you get my meaning.
That's nasty business.
Indeed.
Things like that tend to come back around. Yeah,
Well,
you can just talk to them.
I see. Thank you. No, trump out.
Georg and Vezio fall behind.
All right, march back to the ship.
Okay. As you're walking along the pier, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Motherfucker.
Oh my god.
An 18.
Yeah, so a tripwire has been set up between 2 boxes on the pier here, and you just step over it.
Do I see it though?
Yeah.
Stop. I know exactly what to do here. I've been trained. I'm gonna trace it.
Yeah, it's attached to nothing. It's literally just to trip you.
What the fuck?
You're getting far too lucky.
God damn it, Alex! I wanted to use more of
I'm
my
sorry,
knowledge
buddy.
here.
There's just nothing there.
You've ruined it.
I'm sorry.
You've ruined
man.
it. There's not even anything for me to like fall onto, like a nail
No,
or
it's
something.
literally just a wire to trip you.
Just a haha, get pranked, idiot.
He's mocking me. Vezio, cut that.
I just stamp on it.
Yeah, it breaks. Yeah. It breaks the 2 things that it was held into, the 2 little sticks it was wrapped around.
I'm gonna make a perception check.
Yeah.
See if I see anyone or anything.
Sure.
I'm not gonna use that word. You would have cucked me because we're in a harbor. I was gonna say fishy, but I can already see what you would have done there. A 23.
Yeah, there's 3 more tripwires along the pier leading back to your ship.
How the fuck did he set these up so quickly? We were there for like 45 seconds. Motherfucker. I'm not gonna get complacent. I'm gonna check them all out, see if any of them are attached to anything.
Okay, you trace the second one, nothing. You
Yep.
trace the third
Cool.
one, nothing.
All
You
right.
trace the 4th one, 100-pound barrel of gunpowder.
Yeah, it's nothing, isn't it?
No, it's attached to a 100-pound barrel of gunpowder.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh my God! Okay, all right, yes, yeah, I know exactly what to do. Okay,
So you're about to be clear. You're like 20 feet from the deck of the Defiance, and you can see like Shaibon is up there. Like these people, if you go talk to them, they probably should have been able to see who set this up, unless it was set up last night. Because this is a 100-pound barrel of gunpowder just 30 feet from your ship. This would kill you. It'd
No
probably
way it was
kill.
set up last night.
Fuck! All right, clear out, everyone on the ship. Vezio, get me something to secure this tripwire with, and then get me something to cut.
Something to secure it, like what?
Yeah, secure it. I imagine, Alex, it's set up near a box or
Correct.
something.
There are.
near,
It's a pier set up, sort of 5 feet wide. There's
Okay.
2 crates on either side of the pier, so you have to walk between them. The tripwire is set up
Yep.
between these 2 with 2 little sticks holding up the tripwire. Then the tripwire is attached to a. It's a little striking thing where, like, when you push on the tripwire or pull on it, it'll strike a piece of wire against a piece of tinderbox material,
Okay.
which would then ignite the gunpowder.
Is the tripwire taut or is it loose?
It's taut.
Like, does this thing activate when I? Does the line need to snap for me to activate this?
No, it just needs to be
Like,
pulled
released,
on quickly.
basically?
It just needs like rapidly be pulled on. To disarm this, you could literally just detach the wire from the strip mechanism, because then it couldn't make a spark to ignite the gunpowder.
Okay. I'll. Does that take any dexterity of any kind?
Yeah.
Could hear the disappointment in his voice. He didn't get to use bombs.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. It's a very simple.
dude,
It's a very
yeah.
simple
Yeah,
device.
dude.
I'm sorry, buddy.
I mean, that's all right.
That's a barrel of gunpowder.
Yes, that's why I'm doing
Now,
this.
to be
'cause
clear,
I
you
want
haven't
that shit
opened up the
done.
barrel of gunpowder, but you can see that like there's a little trail of gunpowder leading from a hole near the bottom of the barrel to the striking victim. So you assume it's full. technically, I guess it could be like 1/10 of the way full, but your assumption is it's a full barrel.
Okay. I'm still trying to imagine this. I feel like there's a better way of doing it.
There
I'm
is.
going
I mean,
to look around. I'm going to make sure no one's leveling a gun at the barrel.
yeah,
That'd be
so,
good.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Luckily, this pier is literally a straight line, so you can just start looking between barrels and stuff, and you only have to go 120 feet down, because that's roughly the range of a musket. You can check underneath the pier as well. So roll me an investigation check or perception, Vezio, whichever you prefer.
It's probably going to be a perception if I'm looking for things. I don't think my investigation.
Alternatively, Ethan, I guess you could just, like, that little trail of gunpowder that leads to the bottom of the barrel, you could just disrupt that line so there's no fuse anymore.
I'm more worried about throwing a firebolt or something at it.
Yeah, that's fair. You don't find anyone.
So, Alex, you said it's a taut line running to a striker,
Yeah, basically.
and is it holding the striker back? And so, like when the cord gets disturbed, the striker will go forward, scraping against something,
Yes,
igniting
exactly.
the gunpowder.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I know what I want to do.
Okay.
I want something to secure the line, the trip line to like one of the boxes. Let's say.
Okay. So, like, a
Normally,
nail.
I'd do this with. Would that work?
I mean, you could just hammer the line, yeah.
It needs to be in nail specifically with
Yeah,
a little head.
Yeah.
I imagine that tape is not existent in
Correct.
this time,
There's
so yeah, that will do.
All right, you have Vezio. Go grab Shaibon. Shaibon returns to you with his little carpentry kit. And Shaibon, you can. This is when you
I've got
realize.
3/4 inch. I've got the half inch. What the fuck is that?
Whatever the widest head you have is, widest nail head.
God,
Just,
I'll hand that over. It's probably, most of them are enough. They're meant for planks.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to secure the line,
You
Alex.
hammer in the nail.
All right. I need shears or something to cut the line with.
Shaibon will hand you over.
Yep.
Something similar to those. Shears. is
One
closer.
of my many daggers.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. Either way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that yet.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to secure now that I've done that, I'm going to secure the striker so that the striker cannot.
Yeah, that one's really easy to
impact.
do. You just separate the two pieces that are going to strike against one another.
Yep, I'm going to do that, and then I will cut the line.
All right.
Cut the top line.
You cut the line.
Cool.
Do you like me to bring the gunpowder to board deck?
That would. Yeah. What's the gunpowder resting on, Alex?
Literally just the pier itself.
Just
It's a barrel
Okay,
on
I
top
will-
of the pier. Yeah.
I will look under the pier, like directly below the barrel.
Yeah.
Anything down there?
No.
Okay.
Gunpowder.
All right. Yep. Pick up the gunpowder. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, Shaibon, when you lift it up, you do
We'll go back on
realize
the ship.
it's a bit lighter than you would think to be a full barrel of gunpowder.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think a full barrel of gunpowder is a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just like crack the top open and take a look inside.
Yeah, you see it's about 1/10 of the way full, maybe a fifth.
Nice.
And on the top of that, there's a little note.
Oh,
What is it?
what does it say?
You unfold it, and it reads, "Almost gotcha."
Oh, Samuel, that's just such like a perfect little day.
This
I hate him, but I love him.
would that still have hurt, Alex, if that had gone off with me next to
Only
it?
within 5 feet, yeah. It wouldn't have blown up the Defiance, it just would have probably killed you individually.
Killed everyone that was like
okay.
that trip.
Yeah, so basically just Adrian, because even Vezio and Grayo would have been 10 feet back, so they would have taken like half the damage, basically. And then deck saves on top of that, so...
A fourth, but yes.
Yeah. So,
This goes
All right, that motherfucker. All right, well.
notably, Shaibon, since you were on the deck, you were chatting with some other people, making breakfast, talking to William, because he's ready to get the fuck off this ship. You would explain, like, well, we gotta wait until some stuff gets worked out. And you never saw anyone place anything. In that barrel, you vaguely recall seeing it last night, which means just the tripwires were set up this morning, which takes, like, not that long. But I also didn't notice anyone setting them up, so either he was, like, disguised or just very stealthy about it.
I think probably very stealthy.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
So we have another equivalent to a keg of gunpowder, which I've added back to the ship.
That's hopefully worth a lot of money up here, which is confuses me as to how he got it. Hopefully he just had it on his ship already.
Hopefully.
Is the Silverspoon like equipped with ballistas and cannons, or just ballistas?
The Silver Siren just has ballistas.
All right.
It only has like
Unlikely,
2
then.
of them, I think. Maybe 1. I don't know. I'd have to go check the ship sheet. It's not many though.
All right. I think we gotta pick this up a bit. I say we just get as much info in the city as we can and boot Scoot and Boogie onto our actual mission.
Yeah, getting Sunlocked here by Samuel Ash for the next 4 sessions wouldn't be good.
Yeah,
Maybe that's his
not.
guy.
I don't want to do that. He's not. Like I said, now that he's lost the element of surprise, like if this is the best he can fucking come up with, I'm not massively.
Seems like he just cares about the captain. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, I'm not massively worried.
Cool.
So, standard information gathering then. Let's head to a bar and get shamed by religious fanatics
Yeah,
while walking
during
in.
daytime, there's a lot more shamers and a lot less drinkers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we're rolling up as a
I
squad,
suppose
all of you.
No,
that-
I'll wait till the night to go out there.
I mean, during the day we could probably hit up some more respectable people, maybe, before we tarnish our reputation.
Sure. I mean, we need to do some things like replenish certain supplies and things of that nature. The various ship management tasks. Do we have anything? Oh, we have a lot of. We still have some goods to sell, if I remember correctly.
Lots.
We have amber, a lot of weapons, which I imagine. Well, those are weapons for us.
Cinnamon, crate of cinnamon.
Oh,
Yes,
some
amber, cinnamon. Yep. Fine clothes.
Oh, we
a lot of them.
It's gotta be all worth.
I don't know if you
Well,
want to answer
it's-
where we
okay.
got 35 sets of noblewoman's fine
That's
clothes
true.
from.
We'll sell a couple, especially if they're all the same shape in like
The same place we got 5 tons of amber, lol.
Okay.
Well,
I mean,
Okay,
like,
hold
is,
on,
I think
Yeah,
wanna
let's
sell
wait
all
off
of
on
them.
the fun.
we can also sell them in a bunch of different places.
All right.
Is that not? You say
Or
that
we
like
could get information about our job and what we're actually.
How
supposed to
many
be doing
places
here.
buy fine clothes is the thing?
Well, yes, Xander, we would do this and at the same time ask the store proprietors about the general goings-on of the war and
Yeah, let's.
You know,
we can start
maybe-
with the cinnamon because that's a pretty easy one. There are no
alright.
spice markets here in Amiens. They're northerners. They eat their food bland and they're chicken spiceless. But you can make your way to the general bazaar, where you'll be able to marketplace. We don't call them bazaars up here in the north. You can make your way to the general marketplace, and you'll be able to find people who sell very small quantities. So unfortunately, this is gonna be like a day-long activity of selling off small amounts of cinnamon to food vendors and small-scale like. Restaurants and stuff like that. This is just the rest of the day if you'd like to sell this crate.
How much would they
That's-
each buy it for?
We'll talk about that later because it's going to be an average number because of how many different vendors you're selling it to.
that's actually good because then we can spend a lot of time getting information from a bunch of different people
Correct.
about the goings-on of the war. Yeah, I think this is a good use of the day.
And-
For specifics, Unios, Vezio, and Georg are coming. Does anyone else have a particular want to come?
Shibon.
Yeah, it's
I
mostly
mean,
directed to you.
Bring the
could
Shibon.
I could offer a distort value spell on the to make it the cinnamon.
What
seem
the
more
hell
pure
is
or
distort value? What the fuck is this? This sounds like a
I'm
band-ass
sorry.
spell.
Drop in the chat?
This
Question
sounds like
mark?
a band-ass spell. This is a band-ass spell. Ain't no way.
Oh, is it
This
really?
is a band-ass spell. Yeah. I apologize, but it is super band.
something. Oh,
Wait, doesn't this just reduce its perceived value?
I can reduce or enhance.
Yeah.
Double. Oh, I see. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
It also seems pretty easy to get us an angry mob against us.
There are many reasons
Yeah,
why it's
that-
banned, but primarily because it's from Acquisitions Incorporated, which is a very specific like D&D setting about scamming people.
Shit.
Who are the two people we're
I
like
realized, my
here
bad.
to kill, by the way?
Al
Are we-
Amsu
we're-
Mashish and Lug Uzveldan.
Almasu Mashish was the first
Al
one.
Amsu Masish. I'll put those names in chat because they may come up. Now, I'll be honest, the
Unfortunately-
Lug Useful Done thing is not very helpful. There are like 10 million of those.
What's
God
the
knows
one?
that's yeah. It's the John Smith.
It's
of
the John
Dwarven
Smith
names.
of Dwarvish names, yeah.
I assume the one we're looking for is high profile, right?
Hopefully.
Yes, he's in charge of a mercenary company called I wrote it down. Hopefully. I wrote down a bunch
I really
of
hope
info
you did,
about
because
this.
I'm not giving any more details anymore.
At the very I have a block of text about this. Nope, I did not.
Oof. Well, you know they lead a mercenary company.
The Bad Company?
There you go.
Is that what it's called? There we
Lethal
go.
Company.
No, it's Bad Company, not Lethal Company.
Based. I'm gonna write that down before I forget it.
All right. So real quickly on the cinnamon thing, they're gonna, all told across all the vendors, the average price you will get is 5 gold. Some will do higher, some will do lower. So you're gonna get 350 gold for the crates of cinnamon.
Oh!
Pretty sure that's less than we could have sold it for in the other place.
It is.
Ah, but we didn't sell it there.
So do we still want to sell it? And get all those conversations and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
I mean, like, realistically, we're not using it for anything else in this campaign. The campaign will be done.
For money?
Somewhere
For
else.
having money?
Yeah, the campaign will be done by the time. we
Yeah,
go
but your
somewhere
character
else.
want money.
Character want money and info now, though,
Fair.
not later.
Okay, so in regards to info, ask me any questions, and rather than go by character by character, I'll just give you what you can get from the collected food owners of Amiens. Food service people.
Rumors on mercenary companies being used by either side.
They both use tons of them.
All right. Any rumors on one specific one called the Bad Company?
Yeah, it's pretty famous.
Oh, why?
They're all halflings.
Jesus Christ. Info on their rough location at the moment.
They have no fucking
I'm
idea.
talking
Last
like,
they heard,
like world
yeah.
map.
Last they
Like
heard,
near these cities.
they have no idea. Last they heard of them was
Okay.
a little bit like last year during the Battle of Sarn, which was a pretty pivotal battle of the war. The Bad Company did a lot of really good shit there, and they have no idea where they haven't heard of them in pop culture since basically.
Okay, where was that battle?
Battle of Sarn was next to the city of La Montfel, so it's near.
All
near
right.
here. It was a defeat for the Autonians.
Oh yes, I suppose who are they fighting for?
Oh yeah, they're fighting for Otto.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's probably another thing. Which are the sides of the Civil War.
Yeah, that's general info about the Civil War would be good.
Yeah, so the general story is similar to what you heard from the Harbor Master. 3 Grail Knights betrayed Toussaint. The exact story of what they did to betray varies based on which person you ask. And so 3 of them went to join Clovis the Sanctified, and then 3 remained loyal to... Well, so there's Otto and then his 2 supporters, and then Clovis and his 2 supporters. Currently, Clovis controls the cities of Toujois and Medu. Otto the Golden owns La Montfel, Amiens, and Renfield. And the People's Movement, which is a preacher who's declared himself a saint, controls the city of De Lyons.
Yeah, can we also just get a general breakdown on the Toussaintian Civil War?
Yeah, so so the story that you hear is that Clovis the Sanctified launched a coup. So Clovis the Sanctified launched a coup. Otto the Golden launched a counter coup, and Clovis and him fought a battle within the city. Like there was a running battle throughout the streets of Amiens where hundreds died.
Within Amiens?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Clovis lost that and fled the city with all of his supporters. And then 2 other Grail Knights joined him. And they retreated to the city of La Montfel, where they fought against Otto the Golden again, and they lost. And then, while they were retreating westward, Otto the Golden went for a final battle, like a follow-up victory, and he lost. He got fought to a stalemate and lost a lot of people. The numbers you hear are totally wrong. Like, you just gut instinct as a soldier,
Yeah, sure,
but
whatever.
you're hearing like 70,000, 80,000 dead at that battle.
Good God.
Which would be bigger than any battle fought like by Myth-Doja in the last 100 years. So it's definitely not true, but that's what they say. And since then, for the last year and a half, it has been a series of battles all along the same sort of frontier in the west between the Clovians and Autonians. None of them have been decisive. It's just been a lot of brutal conflict. But there's a lot of excitement in the air because Otto the Golden has recruited a very powerful religious spellcaster from the Lord's League named Grand Inquisitor Dufort, and they think that she's gonna win the war for Otto the Golden.
Aaron, know anything about this individual?
And then to the north, De Lyons is kind of like a subplot of the Civil War, which is that when that giant running battle was happening in Amiens, this preacher decided that he just received a vision from the Jade Lady, and so he started preaching about how the world was going to end and how he could deliver them from death, basically. And a local crime boss named Clapper and a bunch of other eclectic people converted to his cause and joined in with him. And rather than help the Clovians or the Ottonians, they just left, and they've set up in the city of De Lyons, and they functionally rule it as like a city-state, separate of Toussaint.
And no one's bothered to go up there and disrupt them yet?
Otto the Golden fought a couple battles against them. There's stories that along the Ecclesial River, which is that river to the south of De Lyons, there's several forts built there to prevent the people's movement from moving south. But Otto the Golden's mostly focused on defeating Clovis.
Okay, and when you say Otto launched a counter coup, you don't mean he was defending the existing government. You mean he...
Well, it's complicated because the existing government was an oligarchy ruled by 6 Grail Knights. So, like, Clovis, the story goes that Clovis tried to wipe out Otto the Golden and his 2 supporters, and then Otto the Golden then tried to wipe out Clovis and his 2 supporters, and then Civil War started.
Okay, I see now. All right, cool.
You also hear mentions that Otto the Golden has a close advisor, a Baroness, though she hasn't been seen since the start of the Civil War.
Is a name mentioned?
Baroness von Herwegen.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the. Fuck, I'm trying to remember if I know this as Adrian.
I don't think
or
you do.
if I just know this. I don't.
I don't believe so. Oh, wait, no, you do know. She's the one with Seiju and Swine set.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
this is the vampire lady.
Yeah.
This is the vampire lady. Yeah, okay, cool. So, odds Otto the Golden is enthralled?
Who knows, man?
Who fucking knows?
Holy shit.
Dude, that's actually a huge lore drop that I haven't, I haven't got before. Wow.
It isn't a big if.
Huh.
Yes, like by that logic is like
That would be insane, dude.
That would be insane.
Oh my god.
That's big lore.
Fuck, what's the guy who hired his name? Like fucking
Lord Rothschild.
Lord
Adrian?
Lord Rothschild. No.
Oh,
Lord
I mean,
Rothschild. Is Lord
do
Rothschild
remember-
involved though?
Do remember that is my character.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I know.
I am him.
Who knows?
Right.
Do keep that in mind. I mean, I do, but,
Yeah, but they don't.
you know, lol, I'm not going to tell
But
you.
yeah, so the general lines are,
Yeah.
I'm just going to reveal all the shit I have on the GM layer. You got Clovians over here, Ottonians over here, and then people's movement up here.
So, boys, I think there's, like, Lamonfel would have infinitely better information than Amiens will.
That is where all 3 Ground Knights are, including Otto.
So I would say it's time to abandon the sea.
Hold on. Let's at least ask about Al Amsu Mashish first.
Okay, I guess I'll drop the names of the leaders of the bad company.
Yeah, Luguz Vodan is not helpful. The most famous Luguz Vodan here in Toussaint is the Ranger General of the Dawi, who is in East Lothier because he's one of the famous people from that city.
Yep.
And then the most famous Al Amzu is indeed the leader of the mercenary company, and all they know about him is that he's surrounded by halflings. Like he's not even seen as like the main guy of the company. That belongs to Captain General Spud.
And that's the halfling in charge of the company.
Yeah.
All right.
His name's Spud.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something suitably weirdly halfling, which is yes, Spud sounds like it. And he calls himself Captain General?
Yep.
Do they have a navy at all?
No.
All right, cool. So he just calls him that because it sounds cool, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's what you call the leader of a mercenary company.
Is Captain General?
Yep. The Captain General of the Les Perdue Legion, Captain General of the, all of them. That's just the name for a leader of a mercenary company.
Interesting. And is there any word on what Al Amsu's role in the mercenary company is?
No, he's in all the stories about the Bad Company only talk about the halflings.
Yeah, sounds about right. Okay.
At least here in Amiens.
Did we get poison already? I didn't we have it for some reason or
You
another?
have 2 doses
no, we
of
had
mandrake,
right.
which is a type of poison.
Damn it, yeah, but it's not a
Right.
kill you poison. It's a go to sleep
Not-
poison.
Snort was trying to make poison.
He was, yeah.
Well, Snort is not here, unfortunately, so that alleyway cannot be pursued.
It's true. He's incapacitated.
Is he drunk? Like,
No, he actually. I mean, he said in general what he's
like
doing. He's
Aelvis?
Oh, I'm not reading that. Never mind. He's doing something in his cabin.
Oh, wait, did he update his?
No, he just said the thing he's doing in general.
Oh
like,
yeah,
2
that's
hours
right.
ago.
Yes, yeah, I see.
Yeah.
In his downtime, he's doing that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Anyways.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
Are there
Also,
noises?
He's just
No,
he's
it's
just
quiet.
doing
Okay,
it in a,
it's a quiet.
he's just doing it in a barrel
Yeah,
though.
he
isn't
is.
'Cause he doesn't
Anyways,
have a cabin.
so is there any other details we'd like from the food service workers of Amiens?
Can anyone else think of anything?
How to get to Le Monfort?
Walk.
Are there any like travel restrictions or how prevalent is the plague in the countryside?
As far as these people know, the plague is only in Amiens and Renfield.
We
okay,
also
all right.
countryside though.
They don't know about that.
Yeah.
Were you hubbing to what now?
Well, you were in the bathroom. We saw like a bunch of like horrific plague in the countryside along the coast.
Oh, okay. So, we'll need to buy all the food we will need, everything we will need to get to La Monfel, before we leave. Then
One of the
here in
shopkeepers will
Amiens.
also mention that he runs a sort of, it used to be a national business going to all the cities of Toussaint, but since the Civil War started, crossing the front lines, I mean, they're not actually like front line like World War II. It's just that crossing these contested areas is a guaranteed way to get your shit like seized by one army or another, so he just gave up on that. He just trades with like only La Monfel and the Lord's League.
Oh, okay. Okay. How much would it take to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people total and crab? And I'm just gonna go count on the sheet. I'm just gonna go count on the sheet. This is bad trying to do it in my head. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 people to La Monfel.
If you just want to join one of his next caravans that's headed there and you're willing to wait a week and a half, you could just like do it because you're selling him. Like he'll obviously want a discount on the cinnamon, but
is everyone fine with waiting a week and a half? I suppose we can get stun locked by Samuel Ash here for a week and a half.
Yeah, just deal. We have
While
a
we
week to
wait.
deal with Samuel Ash.
okay.
I do not plan on being proactive about Samuel Ash.
I don't know. He kind of has very visibly tried to kill you several times.
I just like
One
going
of these
out
days it
to
might
get
work.
him. Going out to get him is going to be more dangerous because then I'm going into his territory. If an opportunity comes up, sure, I'll take it, but no one here is particularly equipped, other than maybe Georg, for this kind of subterfuge combat.
Ask this merchant how much it would take for him to like up how long it would take to make it quicker.
Yeah, I suppose, yes, if we didn't want to wait, then
You
how
should
long-
just
then
go
how much
hire.
would it be?
Like he'll just tell you that he's just doing that because he needs to restock one of his shops in La Monfel. If you actually want to hire like a dedicated cargo cart, just like do that.
Mm.
He's not going to push up his delivery timetable and overstock one of his shops and lead to potential rot.
I see.
Because
I see why he's doing. Okay, yep. That's good to know. Does he have a recommendation for a business?
not for personal transport, no.
All right, cool. We'll go find it on our own then. Any other questions?
We could ask more informed people once we're done with cinnamon hawking, like about the people we're going after. Ask local mercenaries if there are any.
I have a feeling local mercenaries will not be local. They will be on
There
the
might
front
be.
lines.
You. Fair enough.
I mean, he did. Wasn't this the city where we were told like the city watch was hiring young boys and old men?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
So you hawk your cinnamon,
Alright.
you make your money. 350 gold richer.
All right, I'm gonna go pee.
Well,
Take 5.
yeah, we can take 5. We'll be right back.
Are we,
All right, welcome
we
back.
good?
Yeah, we're good. Welcome back to Voyage of the Defiance. Dude, that's what I keep thinking about in PAX, how I keep saying the wrong one.
No, you got it this time.
No, this time. Yeah, welcome back to Voyage of the Defiance. We left off in the city of Amiens after acquiring some information on the state of things. You'll notice one small change, which is the Battle of Sarn has moved westward because I consulted my tome. But other than that, everything is good. So, what next?
So, I think it's time to... Oh, unless we want to see about selling the amber,
Sure.
which I think is advisable at this
Okay,
stage.
Sure. Amber, you can just sell in bulk. Amber is a... Oh, wait. I forgot you had 10,000 pounds of it. Because amber is heavily used in a lot of... what is it called? Furniture construction. Here
Jewelry?
Yeah, jewelry and furniture.
Wait,
yeah.
furniture?
Yeah, you like inset amber into like chairs and stuff as like a decoration.
Oh, okay.
But that's a lot of
Okay.
amber.
Can we sell it in a few different places? I'm fine with spending another day
Yeah,
on this.
yeah, okay, yeah. If we're willing to spend the next day, we can do that.
Oh, okay. I'm also sorry. Before we spent the whole day on
Cinnamon.
cinnamon selling, yes, I will have told the
Cinnamon.
crew they can go ashore if they like, but we're not giving them any shore
Okay, well, the
leave.
top men know
Why are
that.
we
Does your crew
telling
know
them
that there was a bomb?
Oh, yes, I will tell them there
Okay,
was
they're not
an
gonna
attempt
go to shore then.
made. two attempts on my life. All right, cool. If no one wants to go to shore anyway, that's
Because Philo Cord says, guys, we're not doing it. And they're like, okay.
yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you guys return to the ship after the day of selling cinnamon, and you climb aboard the vessel. Yeah.
Do we want to go to a bar that night, though?
Oh yes, I did want to do that, didn't I? Yeah. I'm gonna take I'm coming with the 3 Marines as well as Vezio. Unios, you don't have to come if you don't want to.
Should have someone who speaks thieves' cant, so me or Shaban.
All right.
Okay, no Los
I'll
Dos.
take you then.
Oh, it's that. All right.
Everyone is over.
Unios, Adrian, Vezio, and the Marines, and our resident drinker Georg, can never leave him out. Make their way
I
to
love alcohol.
make their way to a
Oh yes,
courtside bar.
I wasn't gonna make Georg come along if he didn't want to this time. But
And,
you can if you
uh,
want to. Absolutely.
You step into this bar. It's the one closest to the Defiance along the pier, and Adrian, you see a trollkin sitting in the corner.
Was it the same one that?
I'll be
was-
honest, you've literally never seen a
Well,
trollkin
am I
since
just
leaving the
racist?
city state, other than this one guy. So, like, trollkin are literally one of the most rare species on the planet.
Not him, it's probably someone from that ship, right?
Now the question is, do we fucking jump him? Because there's how many of us?
There are 1, 2, 3,
There's like
7
what,
of you.
5 of us, 6
7
of us,
of you.
7.
Yeah, and there's 20 people in this bar and the bartender.
Are any of them Samuel Ash?
Well, there's a booth with a curtain covering it next to the trollkin.
All right, I'll whisper to Vezio. I'm gonna go sit next to this guy. You are going to stand in the way, like basically stand in the entrance of the booth and like prevent him from leaving or anything like that. All to everyone. Everyone's going to do that at once while I talk
The
to this guy.
booth or the door?
Some of us
Not the curtains booth, the booth with the trollkin sitting in it.
I think
Okay.
Georg
I'll
and I
block
sneak into the crowd and like prepare a rogue sneak attack ambush.
All right,
Oh
yeah.
man,
that-
we're
that-
just going off the.
So I'm not going to attack this guy. I would like to talk, but the 4 of you then.
I will
be
stand there and be intimidating.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's the
You
whole
guys
point.
just
and then the
burst.
other 2 can melt into the crowd.
Vezio and
be
Adrian, you
roguey.
guys walk over to this.
Oh, and the Marines. Yes, the 3 Marines with him.
Okay, so you guys draw a lot of
very
attention
important.
as 4 people in armor, and you sit down. You sit down in the booth, and then the 4 remain standing. A couple people glance over, and the Trollkin looks at you.
Am I familiar with what? They'll speak common, right?
Probably.
I mean, I'm from the city
Yeah,
state.
they speak
so-
common and then their own Trollkin language.
Okay, common. You look familiar. That's uncommon.
You as well.
Yep. You look very familiar from an alley a couple days ago.
Yep. And he sips at his beer.
From the Silver Sparrow?
Siren.
Yeah, there you go. Whatever it is.
Oh, it's all right. Ash mentioned you had a bad memory.
I'm sure. You still acquainted with Samuel Ash?
Well, if you saw me in the alleyway, you'd know the answer to that.
I suppose I did. Is he still trying to kill me? We obviously the gunpowder gambit didn't work.
Look, I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to share with you. That's largely up to the captain and Ash. I'm just here to get a drink.
The captain and Ash. How'd the raid go?
Bad.
Back at the city-state.
His friends are dead. Ash's. But he gave us a good offer.
What exactly was that?
Like I said, I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to tell you. I'll leave that up to Ash and the captain.
Where are they?
I'm not
I'd
sure.
like to talk to them if I could. I'm not sure. I'll look at Vezio. Seems like there are 4 of them and 1 of you. Although,
If we end up fighting in here, there's an Inquisitor that patrols these docks. He's missing his eyes. I think that maybe I'll die, but I don't think the rest of you will be standing either. This is a neutral ground.
neutral ground. This specific bar?
I suppose all of them. If Ash had thought we could just storm your deck, kill all your men, and be done with it, I'm sure we would have done that by now. He seems quite convinced, though, that the Inquisitors in the city are more dangerous than you are.
I don't blame him. Those individuals are... They give me the EP. Anyway, can you tell him and I guess the captain I'd like to talk?
I can tell Ash something.
In
I
one
ain't
of
seen
these-
the captain in ages.
Yeah, Ash then. In one of these neutral areas. He can bring protection. I'll bring mine, but
I don't know if you'd
neutral.
want to talk to him.
Fighting.
He says a lot of not so nice things about you and your crew. I think it'll just be a screaming match.
For better or for worse, I'd like to do it all the same.
He shrugs.
Alright. Suppose I'll be coming into this bar. Actually, he knows where to find me if he wants to meet.
Seems like it.
Alright. That's all then.
Yeah.
And I'll stand up from the bar and leave him to his drinking.
Yeah, he must have
Or the
been here
booth.
for a very long time because he doesn't draw that many looks. You and your Marines draw more looks, and there's more tension about you guys approaching him than him himself. So they must have gotten over there like, oh my god, it's a green person. They must have. So he must have been
Alright,
going here for a while.
I suppose the Inquisition hasn't killed him, so
Yeah.
that's good for him, I suppose.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. He's just one guy. Like, he's literally the only of his kind, so it's hard to even have like a stereotype about him because they don't even know they exist.
I suppose, yeah, they don't lump him into the whole Mohoimanoid goblin.
No. He's about
Okay,
3 feet
that's
taller
fine.
than the tallest goblinoid.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hello, Blake.
Hey, how you guys?
Mordis. Yeah, so you just head back
Okay.
over to the bar. And
Yeah,
the tension in the
I'll,
bar reduces substantially.
Okay, that's good. I'll just make a conversation with people, try and get some more background information on the Civil War.
Yeah,
the
so
Bad
all these people are
Company
transplants within
specific.
the last 2 years. The entire criminal underbelly of Amiens was murdered about 2 years ago. They either
Oh,
fled the
by
city.
the Inquisitors, I
Not
imagine?
exactly. That's the weird thing. Not exactly. They tell you about. So this is all
What?
secondhand or third-hand information. So from what these guys know, because again, these are like Lord's League, Estenians, stuff like that. What they heard was this guy named Clapper took control of the whole city's underground. You know, he got all the gangs under his control. And then he had like this weird fucking political switch in his head turn on, and he's like, I have a political opinion now. And then he got involved in a dispute between the Ottonians and Clovians before the Civil War started. And then, you know, when you're in the middle of those two powerful factions, they just squished him. So it wasn't like Inquisitors were doing it. It's that Ottonians and Clovians both just were sending out hits and killing people and totally obliterated like the criminal underground. They would just like raid buildings, burn people alive. It was pretty fucking grim. And they didn't do trials or anything, so people started fleeing the city or going even deeper underground and doing basically barely any criminal activity so they wouldn't get killed. So that whole generation of criminals is either fled north with Clapper or they were all killed.
I see. All right then.
So they don't really know much of like anything before 1273 in the city.
And fortunately, I don't care about that stuff, so.
Yeah.
Ah, motherfucker. Sorry.
Do I hear anything interesting being said in Thieves' Camp?
Yeah, there's conversations in the corner of the bar talking about smuggling goods to La Monfel, getting goods out of Amiens because they're worried that the plague's going to spread. One person's even talking about getting stuff over to Medu, which is Clovian territory.
Nothing particularly interesting.
Alright, yeah, that's, Yeah, anything about, Olamsu? Or, the Bad Company? Or anything like that?
Yeah, they know all about the Bad Company. There's a bard who comes by this bar sometimes and does a little puppet show and talks about the Bad Company.
Oh, and what does he talk about?
He talks about how they're all halflings.
Oh, okay. Huh. Alright then. Like, how many of them are there?
In the stories, it says a couple thousand.
Okay, that seems like too low of a number to be puffed up. Also, does that sound about right for a mercenary
No, that's
company?
an insanely high number. That'd make it one of the biggest mercenary companies in the Northern Kingdoms.
Alright, never mind. That, so it's probably...
Like, that'd be an army.
Like
That's not a mercenary company. That's just a whole ass army at that point.
Probably a few hundred.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it a few hundred?
So mercenary
most
companies,
likely?
the biggest in the continent, which are like the Les Perdue Legion, that's 2,000 men. That's literally the biggest mercenary company.
good
It's not
God,
even close. Most mercenary companies average between 10 to 100.
Okay. So this is... Alright, sounds good.
Honestly, if you just gotta talk to the bard, assuming the bard isn't just telling a story that someone else made. If it's an original thing of him, maybe he'd know more. But these guys just know, hey, he said 2,000, and he said that they single-handedly held their line at the Battle of the Sarn.
When does this bard come by? I'll ask the people.
I don't fucking know. He just goes from bar to bar. You can probably find him tonight.
Oh, he's around here. He's in the city.
Oh yeah, he
somewhere.
only performs at the docks. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll once we've done that, I'll wander from bar to bar in the city.
Well, you and your
till,
entourage.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
just
the
to
entourage. I'm not. No, not me specifically, Stoinky.
All right, Adrian, Georg, Vezio, Mowines, and Unios exit the bar, make their way out onto the streets, and they search for the sound of puppetry, because that is what you are looking for. And sure enough, you will find it. It's about 6 bars down. This one, it has a dragon as its symbol, very fancy looking, but inside it's the same shitty dive bar as every other bar along the shore here. And they have a little stage area, and you can see a little puppet show is set up there. It seems to have not started yet though, because the curtain's closed. And next to the next to the little puppet setup, you can see a handsome man, maybe a half elf, but you've never seen a half elf with blonde hair. So it's either, you don't know, weird looking guy. He looks like a half elf, like a Westbarn half elf with like pale skin, alien looking features, but he has blonde hair and he's clean shaven. And he's talking to what looks to be the bar owner, proprietor or something, and a bunch of people are like in the bar just chatting, drinking.
Okay, I'll come up to him, but not like barge my way up to him.
Yeah, the rest of your little entourage disperses throughout the bar, and you can overhear the bartender is saying, Yeah, I mean, we can include it, but that means you're not getting paid if you want that much. And the guy sort of chuckles and says, well, I suppose that's acceptable. I mean, that is a large quantity of alcohol. But trust me, it's not for me, if that's what you're worried about. And the bartender just stares at him and he says, all right then, I'm glad we worked something out. And they shake hands, and the bartender does not look happy and walks away.
Excuse me, I'll say to the bard.
Hi!
Hello there. I hear you're doing a little puppet show about the bad company, or at least it involves them.
Oh, it's about the Battle of the Sarn. Fascinating engagement. History being written.
Yes, I'm sure. I have, did you see the Battle of the Sarn yourself, or is this all secondhand information?
I did. I was sitting on a nearby hill.
Okay. I'm curious about, I'll lower my voice at this point.
He leans down.
I would like some actual information, not entertainment information, if you get my meaning.
Yeah, okay. That is going to cost you some money, though.
Yeah, that's fine. Shouldn't be an issue.
Well, if we're about to get in a business arrangement, I haven't been paid for real stories in a long time. My name's Rarion.
Adrian.
That's kind of similar to Rarion. You think you got any elven blood in you?
Most definitely not.
Maybe.
Speaking of which, your blonde hair, are you a Westbar elf?
Apparently.
What's with the hair?
Well, I've never been to Westbar, and I see no reason to make myself look as dour as they always do.
Good point, I suppose. Anyway, about the battle.
Yeah, so how about this? I was about to order 4 kegs of Dwarven Ale from this proprietor here, and he was going to subtract my knight's payment for that. So instead, how about you pay for the kegs, and I get paid still?
How much would 4 kegs be, Alex?
This is before the price shock, so this is going to cost you about, what would that be? 3 times 4, 1,200 pence.
So 1.2 gold?
Yeah.
No, 1.2?
Yeah, 1 gold and 2 electrum.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, I will happily do that.
Wonderful. And he'll sit down at a little table. You can pay the bartender for the 4 kegs of Dwarven Ale, and you can sit down across from the bard.
Unios, can we take that out of the ship's coffers?
Sure,
Thank
how
you.
much was it?
1 gold, 2 electrum. Right, Alex?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the Battle of Sarn.
Yes.
Well, the story all starts in a small little slum in the city of Amiens. And he starts yapping.
Now, remember, I want just facts. I don't need a story. I just want.
All right, we'll skip it a little bit forward. All right, so there's a prostitute. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so
whatever.
La Montfell had just fallen to Otto the Golden. The city was sacked. The local noblemen had been taken into the town and burned for heresy, and all allies of Clovis had been removed from the city. Then, the army was prepared and marched towards the city of Toujois, believed to be the final bastion of the Clovian resistance. As the army marched west, they noticed village after village they came across had been emptied of supplies, and the army began to hunger. Battle was sought, but the Clovians kept denying it until they arrived in a little valley with narrow woods constraining the battlefield, named Sarn. I made my way up to a nearby hill where I could avoid the fighting itself, and I looked down into the valley. The Altonians outnumbered the Clovians, only by a small amount though, and the Clovians were able to narrow the battlefield. Therefore, their inferior numbers did not impact the nature of the battle itself. Up to this point, Otto had done every battle the same, all 3 that I witnessed. Cavalry first, him at the front, a golden banner charging into the fray of the enemy, and if that didn't break them, tides upon tides of mercenaries and well-trained soldiers pushing in. But here, the ground was muddy. Horses were slowed. It bogged down. The charge turned to a canter, to a walk, to a halt, within arrow range of the Clovian army. Otto the Golden himself was untouched, but his vanguard was torn to shreds and to bits by the incoming swarm of arrows. And so the cavalry withdrew, the infantry moved up, and it became a slogfest, the type which Otto had sought to avoid. Clovis himself remained in the back lines, but 2 ground knights moved into the fray. Waves upon waves of men were slaughtered by them. Karl the knight wielded his blade bravely. Hubert, the lady's sword, was there as well. And then Otto the Golden's champions came in. The battlefield became a morass of blood and mud. And in that fighting is where the Bad Company revealed itself, because while other mercenaries began to break at this unending tide of Clovian vigor and violence, the Bad Company held the line. There was a wall of shields, crossbows behind them, even, I think I heard a gun at one point, though it may not have been from the Bad Company. And all the while their leader...
The halflings.
Yes. Despite their diminutive stature, they were able to outnumber their foes, or outmatch their foes at least, and Spud, he stood behind all of them, shouting words of encouragement to them, fighting on for their commanders, for their leaders, for themselves, for their gold. And they held the line, so as an evening fell, the army was able to withdraw in good order. I am of the belief that if the Bad Company did not hold, the Ottonians would have found themselves removed from the field entirely.
Oh my, I see. Well, do you know the word Agincourt?
Not familiar.
Yeah, unimportant. The humans, or a human, a dwarf, involved with the Bad Company. Yeah. Did you see anything of them?
I didn't see a dwarf, but there is a human. I think he's their, I don't know, maybe water boy or something. I'm not sure. He wasn't fighting on the front line.
A water boy? What was he?
I think he was issuing orders. Maybe he was a runner, something like that.
He's gone.
Oh. He's dead.
We'll be right back.
And there was one human among them, but I think he was a messenger, runner boy, something like that.
What was he doing?
He was giving out orders.
Didn't seem like a lieutenant of some kind?
I'm not familiar with that term.
Not necessarily second in command, just seemingly in command of maybe a section of the line.
Oh, I suppose it could have been that.
Oh, okay. Particularly powerful or anything like that?
I didn't see him fight at all.
Oh, intriguing. And no dwarf?
No dwarf.
No dwarf.
They did have a very brave... well, no, that was still a halfling, but he was a very brave man. All those halflings fought so well. I was very impressed with them all.
Yes, I'm sure they did. And actual numbers, not embellished for the stories. Of the Bad Company.
Maybe south of 100.
Alright. That seems about right. Equipment?
Oh, it varied quite a bit. They seemed quite segmented. Like,
how so?
Well, like, so there's their little command thing, which was their Spud. I managed to speak with him after the battle. I didn't speak to anyone else, though. So there's him, his bannerman, the doctor, and then maybe this lieutenant. Maybe, I'm not sure. But beyond outside of that, they have these, like, lower-level people, sergeants, and then they have their normal frontline people, people with big swords, people with crossbows, and then they have these fancy little contraptions, little balls made out of ceramic, and they throw them and they explode.
Do they explode into bits or explode into fire?
The fire. I asked what sort of magic it was, but the Captain General seemed quite incredulous.
Yes, if you wish for future reference, it's not magic, it's chemical explosion.
Oh, it's alchemy. Well, that's a form of magic.
If you insist. Let's see. So yes, them. Any word on where they went after this battle? How's the campaign been progressing after Sarn?
Oh, well, I left the army around then. Things were getting a bit too bleak for the types of stories I like telling. But the Bad Company is up at the Eclaircie River.
Up at how about Alex? Can you post that in chat?
It's on the map.
Is it? Oh,
Let's see.
the Eclaircie River. Oh, I see that. Okay, of course it's spelled weird. Yeah, such a silly language.
Eclaircie River, that's where they located.
Such a silly fucking language, dude.
Imagine this. I don't know, French people, man.
Yes. Just see, Xander gets
French
it.
people
Thank you,
bottom
Xander.
text.
The only. Actually, no. That's a. I shouldn't say that.
So yeah,
Say it,
last
say
he
it.
heard of the last he heard was they were at the Eclaircie River.
And when was that?
Oh, that must have been during the winter season,
What time of year is it now, Alex?
November.
Okay. Oh, so like
year
last
ago,
winter
yeah.
season. All right.
I think they got a fort named after them. Again, I wasn't the only one who recognized how well they fought at the Sarn. That was seen by practically everyone there.
Oh, I see. I see. All right. And where do you know where the remnants, or not remnants, but the main body of the Autonian army is?
Oh, everyone knows it. It's at La Monfel. No one knows what he's planning next. I suspect he's going to do another march on Toujois. I mean, if he does that, I may join with the army. I'd like to see the second battle of the Sarn.
How did this current campaigning season go?
Awful. I mean,
For
I wasn't
everyone,
there.
or just the
Everyone.
Autonians?
I mean, I haven't left Amiens in about a year. It's just getting too depressing out there. You have convoys of supplies going to the armies. These are then pillaged by bandits and raiders, and then cavalry forces destroy villages in their wake, and everyone's painted as a heretic, even those who have been supporting Otto since the beginning. Noblemen's estates are being seized to fund the war effort. Taxes in cities are reaching heights they've never reached before as the plague rolls in from the east. It's all just a bit wearisome.
This is very depressing, isn't it?
So I stay here and I get my stories of prostitutes dying of tuberculosis, because those are much more romantic stories than a village was burned to the ground by a bunch of pillaging looters.
Prostitutes dying of
Well, yes,
tuberculosis.
there's a
you
certain
say.
beauty to it.
Wouldn't there be more beauty in like a prostitute dying of like syphilis?
Well,
you know,
that'd be
killed by their
ironic
own
comedy,
profession.
but I don't know if there would be anything beautiful about that.
How is it beautiful they die of tuberculosis then?
Well,
Do they die
it's
in the
just
arms
like
of a lover or something
sort
like
of.
that?
It's just like knowing that your death will soon come and you have time of what to do with it. It's lots of room for story potential, but there's never been a story written about, oh, I was a farmer walking through my field and a knight rode up and said, give me all your food or I'll stab you through the throat, and then I didn't and he killed me.
That's quite funny. What do you mean?
I think there's something wrong with you.
There is. Don't worry. Anyway. Well, that should be all look to I suppose it would just be Vezio.
Yeah.
He's the only one that's here.
Yeah, the rest of them are elsewhere in the bar. Vezio's just lingering a couple
Well.
feet back, looking all Vezio-like.
Vezio, anything else to ask? He's a silent one, him.
Ah,
Doesn't say much.
I see.
Yes.
What's your profession? You look like adventurers.
Sailors, I suppose it would be our main profession.
So that's where that smell
If
comes
you
from.
can't, yes, if you can't tell, we're looking for the bad company at the moment.
Sure. Well, I
Yeah,
got a puppet show to
sure.
do.
I think I may stick around and watch. I'm quite excited for the entertaining version of this story.
Well, considering the types of stories you like, I'm not sure if you'll enjoy it that much.
Well, maybe I will. You never know. And besides, time to get drunk.
Yeah, his performance
I'll
is...
go drink some of the dwarven ale I just paid for.
There you go. Well, no, it's his. You paid for it on his behalf. That was your payment to him for
I
his
will,
story.
I will have some of it anyway.
The performance that he does is It's a very satirical, heightened version of what he told you, and because he'll probably get murdered if he depicted Otto the Golden badly, which he seems to probably believe, he does not do that. Otto the Golden is this glorious knight leading his vanguard, and his knights fail him, and it's all very silly.
When you say he believes it, he actually believes Otto the Golden is good.
I think when you were talking to him, the vibe you got, he probably isn't a fan of Otto the Golden just based on some of the things he said.
Okay.
But in this play performance, Otto the Golden comes off as like the savior of the whole battle, even though that definitely is not what happened.
Cool. All right, I got you.
So yeah, he's depicted as like leading the vanguard and challenging Clovis to a duel, but the cowardly Clovis denied it. And then the bad company held the line, and people have clearly heard this one before, so they know the right parts to cheer. And they're like, yeah, those little puppets are holding the line. And then there's spurts of blood as a single halfling falls, but 10 humans fall in their wake, and eventually the brave, short, diminutive halflings step atop the corpses of their human foes, reaching eye level with the new enemies that come for them. And it's all quite silly.
Well. Good entertainment at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, he's good at what he does.
That's good. All right. I will even tip him a little bit.
Wow. Tipping culture and Valorous Pog.
I'll give him. I imagine he comes around with a fucking like.
Actually, what he does is at the very end of the play, it's the final, like the sun is setting on the Battle of Sarn, and the moon is singing about how tragic all the death of her children is, and then as this very somber note of the play ends, a little hat emerges from behind the curtain, and the moon says, "Give me money, please."
I'll give him 2 electrum.
All right, huge. We're up so good. Bards stay winning.
I'm sure we are.
All right. You hand over the gold money, and then
Not a gold.
Then the puppet station is moved, and he goes into his normal performance, which is blowing on a flute. During that evening, I need a Constitution saving throw from Adrian.
What?
Constitution saving throw?
Shucks.
Oh fuck! It's poisoned.
Yeah.
Do I have? Maybe. Wait, no, boys. Maybe I'm just catching the plague. Okay, maybe that's what it is.
That's insane how that's better than getting, like...
Yeah, you heard me, Blake. You heard me. All right. RNG Jesus, be with me.
All right.
He was not with me?
Yeah, that's definitely a fail. I just need to know which degree of failure it is. 1 sec.
Hopefully it's not the insta-death failure, because I will be very sad.
You'd have to roll pretty bad for an insta-death level
you don't
of failure.
have to roll that bad.
No, you don't. You don't. I know this for sure. You don't.
Okay. So,
am I dead?
As you guys are enjoying the evening, after the performance wraps up, it's Vezio, 2 Marines, Adrian, all sitting at the bar. Unios is somewhere else in the bar. Georg somewhere else, and the final Marine somewhere else in the bar. And Adrian, you feel pounding agony pain begin to spread into your head. A headache so bad you actually think you're going to die.
I'm going to grab Vezio on like the armored collar of his plate armor.
Yeah.
Back to the ship now. Get me back. And yeah, I'm gonna fall into the waves.
Yeah,
of
Adrian's
agony.
face is like red, like pulsating red, and his veins are starting to like protrude a bit on his forehead.
That's not good. Maybe I'll just call out to the Marines and then everyone else.
Yeah, there's a bit of chaos in the bar as people like hurry to get out of the way as you like basically hoist up Adrian and drag him, pick him up and bring him out of the bar.
Do I see Samuel Ash or anyone else in that
Roll a perception check.
description?
You do not see Samuel Ash.
But like anyone else from the
You do not see a Trollkin. You don't see Dorf. Yeah, there's only humans in this bar. Well, and the half-elf bard, but...
What about a human with a book who's clean shaven?
No, you don't see that.
Nice.
All right, so you guys exit the bar carrying Adrian, and as you emerge out into the chilly night air, of November onto the pier, you all sort of stumble out of the bar, and waiting there, outside, is 7 people.
Oh, fuck.
And the final thing we're going to do before we end the session is, Adrian, you have the poisoned condition, and you are going to take...
You still have the halfling foot. Did a reroll?
28 poison damage.
Wait, no, it's only enough.
So you have the poison condition, which gives you disadvantage on basically all things.
Yeah.
Is that per turn?
No.
Or is that
No.
just
The one
straight
time.
up?
One time.
Okay, I am alive.
Yeah, you're fine.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
go.
the poison condition is the major debuff because that is, I'm not going to say how long it lasts, but it's very long. Much longer than this combat's going to be. So we'll pick up with, well, I mean, I think you all can guess. We'll pick up with Samuel Ash and his Goonies next session.
Sorry, what did you call it?
Goonies, like the movie?
The Goon Squad.
Yeah, it's Goon Squad.
So
Sorry, I was
it's
imagining them performing a certain action.
Oh.
disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Yes.
Cool.
And we'll pick up with that next week on Voyage of the Defiance. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.